Worked. Oh no, it failed. Wait, but it only failed on the recording part. I might be streaming.
Maybe, possibly hitting refresh on Grif streams. I do see live.
I have no idea.
Live. Yeah.
Okay.
I see it.
All right. I don't think the cameras are going to be right though because bearbis screwed us over. Yeah.
They don't call it dead streaming.
It's not really my fault. Okay, I'm sorry. My camera sucks. My computer sucks.
Turn off your stream.
Turn off my stream.
Does not help. It makes it worse.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Now I have to fix these. Hold on.
Gosh,
hey guys, welcome to the Grif and Go podcast. I'm Grif. That's Go. These are some other people you can't see yet because my cameras are screwed up. But there's tableslam and bearbis here. I promise I'll get this fixed.
On tonight's episode, we answer the age-old question: how many druids does it take to figure out technology?
I gotta leave it there. Okay. Hold on. Let me put it back to this so you're not watching me. Okay, there you go. Talk amongst yourselves while I fix all this.
If this was on my channel, it would have gone flawlessly. Moonkins, we have our SHIT together.
Wow, dude, watch your mouth.
Yeah.
Actually, this did happen on your podcast, and you failed completely, and I had to carry. You guys remember?
Yeah.
Only 2 episodes ago.
Yeah, not too
Still
long
fresh
ago
in my mind.
All right, where are you at on the screen? You're to the left of me. This is so fun. Hey,
we got a shoulder. That's a nice shoulder.
Oh,
I like that shoulder.
Oh,
nice Shrek reference. I appreciate that.
Yes.
I didn't get it.
No,
I mean, donkey? I realized that it was a Shrek reference now, but I didn't catch it at the time.
That's a nice boulder.
So, guys, did you get to raid this week?
Oh yeah.
How'd you do?
Algalon. Algalon 10-man, yes, got it down. Scotty J got my best in slot ring, his first 10-man with the guild. So
wait, he took it?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm calling him out right now. So we did a 10-man before. I guess this was his second 10-man. We did a 10-man before. All this loot was dropping. He was like, "Oh no, mate, I really don't need it. You know, just give it to whoever. I'm all right." Yeah. Algalon loot drops. He wins the roll. He's completely silent. He's not like, "Oh, you know, I could give this to somebody else that's been in the guild, that's been progressing for the last." No, he's like, took it. Thanks. And was completely silent about it. Yeah. It's like, "Thanks for my bis." I was like, okay.
Streamer privilege, bro.
Yeah, but no, it was sick. Like, we got Algalon 10 down, so I got my Star Color Classic Go title. And as a Moonkin, I feel proud.
Congrats, man.
You're not allowed to cast during lunar eclipse now?
Yeah, solar eclipse only.
Only solar.
That's the rules. I remember. Okay. I got bearbis. Wait, no. Oh my god.
Don't tell me I broke it again.
No, I did table on bearbis because I was.
I see it now.
You know what? Actually, I could just do this. Hold on.
Just change the names.
There.
I like how there's a bear underneath.
Oh,
yeah, because the background image.
It's the background. In case something's not working. Hold on, let me get rid of that. Oh, that was the wrong button for sure. Okay.
That's awesome.
Okay, no, this is table.
Because I came and saved him last week.
How'd you guys do? Table and bear. Did you guys get any loot? That's me.
Go table. That's you first.
I'll
allow it.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. Last week I got Runestone finally, so that's cool.
Ooh, congrats, dude.
Big grats.
And I think that's kind of, and I got a Dark Edge, but I think I already told you about that.
I don't think so.
I have Dark Edge and Runestone now, but like my passive armor pen is only like 158, so like I'm not even thinking about gemming ARP yet.
Doesn't it suck?
I like.
Go ahead.
I just want more. I just want more passively on my gear before I start gemming for it, because like I haven't even simmed it yet, because I just know that like even at like 400 something passive armor pen with a Dreambinder in the sim, it was still almost the same damage as like Agi gems.
Yeah.
So it's like if I have 158, there's no way that it's even close. Like I'm not even gonna bother until I get more passive ARP.
For sure. I was gonna say, it sucks getting this like arguably bis, but maybe second bis weapon, and you're like, you know what I mean? Like you're not even happy about it. He's like, yeah, I got Dark Edge. And everyone's like, yeah, but don't you want Dreambinder? And you're like, yeah. Okay.
We had something go to a roll last night in 25 man. It was a polearm.
Oh yeah.
And is polearm feral bis or what? Like what?
Some polearms are, but not right now.
Some are good.
We can use them now. That's the big deal.
Is it a staff or like what's your bis weapon?
Our bis is Dreambinder, but there are multiple polearms that are pretty decent. They're not as good as the staff, but I mean you can still use the staffs.
If you guys
Dreambinder's like Ultra Bis, there's a few that are like also strong options, but aren't like actually Bis. They're just really good.
If you guys do not know, if you're a feral and you're like, no, I can't carry a polearm, they changed it from TBC to Wrath. You have to go retrain it. For Alliance, you have to go to Stormwind, I'm pretty sure, and I don't know where Horde is.
Horde is Thunderbluff.
There you go. So you have to go there and train the weapon, and then yes, you start at like level 1. But for ferals, it doesn't matter because weapon damage isn't really, or like weapon skill isn't really a thing. We automatically get 100% weapon skill in our form. However, if you are doing any kind of weaving, it still makes sense to you to get max in case you happen to get out of form and get a swing in, especially gift weaving. But yeah, just wanted to point that out in case you guys are like,
which has happened to me.
Pole arms.
I got my while power shifting in TBC, I got my staff skill to like 140 something, starting at like, I think like after I hit like level, I don't know, like 14 or so, I was never hitting stuff with my staff anymore while leveling. So my staff skill stopped at like 40 or whatever it ended up being, whatever it is at 14. It stopped there, and then I didn't level it anymore past that. And same thing with like 200 maces and whatever. And then when I started power shifting in TBC, all of a sudden I started getting weapon skill points again because I kept getting white hits in while I was in the middle of a power shift.
Which was a DPS increase, by the way, if you timed it right.
Yeah, if you did like a what do you call it, like a cast sequence and just had like a split second of time before you go back into form, like do like a cancel form and then wait like a 1/10 of a second, then go back in and time it, you could definitely do it. It was hard. Like usually it happened by accident, so it was like accidental bonus damage, but still, bonus damage is bonus damage.
Yeah, and it's such a small thing too. But
if I feral charged in PvP and TBC, it would give me a melee swing.
Oh yeah, but that
like
makes sense.
I'd feral charge, like switch to boomkin, and it would melee. I was like, well, thanks.
Bonus. Gotta get them parses. Am I right?
Sometimes like it's funny when like the noise of the weapon hitting plus the sound that the enemy makes when it gets hit like scares you. You're like, oh Joe, okay, yeah, I did that.
But yeah, so I gotta tell you guys, I finally got to see Algalon, which I hadn't been in Algalon's room since original Wrath, and I forgot like there's like there's an RP to it, and I was like, oh yeah, Bran and the whole thing, and but we didn't down him, which is a downer.
It's a dope looking room too.
Yeah, it's a cool, like
10 or 25.
25. Our off tank, honestly, the problem was our off tank just kept dying, like just getting one shot constantly. And I think it was tradition. They were timing. I think they were having a hard time right when the Big Bang ended, and you come back out of like Bizarro World. He would just get clapped, and they're like, "You got to pop something," and he's like, "I did," and it doesn't help.
Or you just start further away because like the bot, like it's the same thing, like I don't know how to even say this. Like the spot where the boss is in like the real world versus like the Shadow Realm or whatever.
Yeah.
The Void or whatever. He's in the same place. Like it's 1-to-1. So like if you know that you're going to be picking it up, you can just stand at max taunt range. That's
what someone suggested. I don't think he did that, but yeah, like I was thinking the same thing. Like, can't you just taunt, let him run to you? You know, he moves.
You gotta have the healer's time to like cook up a heal for you. Like if you're just already in melee range, you're going to get clapped before the healers can even react to it.
Or if they're even back from the ether or whatever, because you got a bad star drop and they had to run 40 miles to get one. Because that happens too.
Let's call something different every time. We've got Shadow Realm, we've got Void, we've got Bizarro World, we've got Ether.
Yeah, because there's
more names for that place.
There's no correct term for that. I'm sure there is. Please don't correct.
When you come back from E-Bomb's world,
E-Bombs.
The upside down. Throwback. We can call it the upside down.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we didn't down Algalon. We did every other hard mode though. Like every single hard mode I have now done, with the exception of Algalon. We did not struggle on Mimiron. We one-shot Mimiron. Which is
this
like
on 10?
25 man. We one-shot
Really?
it.
You one-shot Mimiron on 25?
So to be fair, I am in raid 2 and 15 of the people had done Mimiron 25 man, and then a bunch of them had done 10 man, and there's only 2 of us that have never done Mimiron, and we were both melee. So it was like, oh, easy. But yeah, we one-shot it.
Well, easy, dude. We have melee die to the mines every attempt.
Well, that's literally okay. Okay, I gotta say,
every attempt.
Dying to the mines, whatever. But like, so I don't know if you guys do this, but sometimes you'll have a paladin bubble and just blow them all up really quick when they've got free time. Like in between, they'll bubble themselves and just pop them all so that you're out of the way. On top of that,
like nitro boost around.
As a melee, your only real problem are the mines. So if you're dying to the mines, you're really dying to the only like you don't have to deal with like the fire thing. If you're doing it right, isn't that big of a deal. And even if it is, like I've ran through fire, it doesn't hurt that bad, and you could jump through it and not take any damage. So but yeah, like you don't have to deal with like all the weird stuff that casters have to do. So really the mines are it. And then the assault bots don't pull threat. That's
you know why that the fires don't affect you when you jump over them?
Because I'm superhuman.
No.
You're good at the game.
Yeah.
Because of the
That's
server
definitely
lag.
not it.
Yeah.
So
because of the jumping, yeah.
I think it was back in Legion, I think is when they changed it to actually while you're in the air, it still counts as you moving through stuff. Because you jump, it only takes account to your last place until you land.
Mm-hmm.
For sure,
yeah,
for
so
sure.
You jump outside of the fire, then yeah.
That's why like there's certain mechanics where you shouldn't jump because it maintains that you're still in something. Like remember the voids on Four Horsemen? People would jump out of them and then they die and they're like, I don't understand, I was out of it. And like, did you jump out of it? And they're like, yeah. And they're like, well, the server doesn't reference the jump or where you're at until you land.
Yeah, same for pretty much any boss that has anything that has a ground effect, like KT.
Yeah. So jump. Obviously jump on Mimiron. But yeah, we did all the and I got Midnight.
But wait, there's more.
You got the mount? Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I got the stupid Child of the Crusader mount too. I think I told you about it, bearbis. I've been chasing that thing for a while.
Yeah, I got mine Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah, I think you were like 3 or 4 days ahead of me. That makes sense.
Yeah,
which
is one of those ones where you get it and instead of being happy about it, you're relieved that it's finally over.
Honestly,
nope. I'm still going for the rest of them.
No, I'm going for the rest of them too. But I will tell you, Table had it dead on. Like, I legit got it. Whatever, used it. I don't know what the right term is. Mounted it. Like when you actually get it, like you pick the item up, but then you have to click it to
learned it.
Learned it, yeah.
Whatever. So when I learned it, and then I mount it, and I was like, oh, it's kind of just like the one from Cenarian.
It's just a
recolor of it.
I was so disappointed. I was like, so like I'm like, well, I put it on my bar to like use it for fun, but like honestly, Ravenlord's cooler. Even like Midnight's cooler, and I'm still trying to get the stupid Skolo one, but I haven't seen that thing. And I try that.
Skolo.
Baron River Dare Mount.
Yeah, not Skolo.
Strat. The other one.
Strat. Yeah.
The other max. The other level 60 max undead dungeon.
I did this. I do 5 runs a day, and I've still never seen it. And I've done it for over a year now, and I haven't seen it. I've been doing a lot of mount farming. If you guys couldn't tell. Hold on a minute.
So I don't have that many mounts, but if I did get into like the habit of trying to collect them. Does the mounts, like the random mount macro, does that still work? So I'm just not...
So the one I have posted works. You just got to change the names into it to whatever you want, but you can only have like so many.
Yeah, it's like a character limit.
The character limit, yeah.
Yeah, it's the 255 character limit.
Yikes. Yeah, that was like back in retail, my retail days. That was the only thing that I liked about mounts was I could have a random one pop up every time I got on one.
Yeah, because they just had the random button like built into the game.
I was gonna say they added it. Cool. Like you can now do like, like the garbage. What's the command called? It's like /cast random or something like that, or the random whatever. You could put like 4 or 5 of them, which is okay. But like I like the new version where it's true random. Like you just here you go.
Are
Yeah,
you
you
talking
get, like-
about the? Yeah, it's slash cast random, and then you just select how many mounts you want. I think I have like 6 on mine.
Yeah.
There's add-ons that can do it too, like Juancho
Wh-
Sand and
What's your go-to ground mount in Dalaran?
Mine?
Any guys?
Mm,
I'm a Raven Lord to represent the Druid. Right now I'm doing Nightmare, or Midnight, whatever.
Amani Warbear.
Really?
that's good.
I would probably say mine is like one of the bears. I do random between all of those, but I also have like all of the Talbots, and I have pretty much every mount in the game right now.
The Talbots look sick though. Like they're so
Yeah.
like there's nothing else. It's a whole separate rig from the other stuff too. Like it's completely unique.
Well,
It's so cool.
And especially as a Tauren, like
They're huge.
they're a lot bigger, and you can just have a giant elixir and like food, and you just massive.
I gotta tell you, what's the mount you don't have that you really want? Because like I've always wanted Ashes of Alar, like always, like all the way from back in original. I was like, oh, I want that mount, and they came up with like the alternate one later that I got, the purple one. I got that one, but I wanted the original, and literally never. I used to farm it all the time. Never saw that stupid thing. That's upsetting because I can't solo farm it yet.
I'm not really
So
big
the
on
purple
mounts.
one that you're talking about comes from Firelands.
Yeah,
Ooh, yeah. Oh,
Which
I
is
remember
next
having that
spec.
one.
I got it. I did it. I got it in my
They knew
first
what they were
run.
doing.
I got it in my
They knew
first run.
exactly what they were doing. They're like, we're going to add this mount to the game because in 15 years we're going to do Cataclysm Classic, and people aren't going to want to play it. So we need to entice these players to play this game.
Yeah.
It'll work. What's up, Mastodonic? And I want to say hi to everybody. Sorry, Lazarus, what's up? Ryan, what's up? Juancho Gonzalez, I think I got that right. What's up? Over 100 mounts is my goal because I do want that stupid extra mount that you get at 100, which is ironic because you already have 100 mounts. You don't need another one. But yeah,
How many are you at right now?
I'm at 64.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're just starting the grinds. The last like
I-
5 to 10 are the
Well, do the
worst
annoying ones first, man. Do all the annoying ones as soon as you can, and then the rest of them will feel like cake.
So
Yeah.
So I've already made a list. I can easily obtain 10 more, and that's it. And I'm like, I'm gonna have to start doing, like, I'm already doing like the farms, but like the ones you can buy, I'm running out of. Like, so I'm gonna buy all the Trial of the Crusader ones. If you guys don't know what those are, there's one for each faction. Actually, there's 2 for each faction, right? There's the one you can buy.
There are 2.
Yeah. There's the one
There's
that you need
one
like the
that's
stupid thing for. but yeah.
100, and then another one that's 400, and I think it's like 420 gold and
Mhm.
5 emblems. Yeah.
Then I've got 2 left. I don't have either of the mammoths you can buy in Dalaran. One
All
of
the
them,
expensive ones.
well, one of them is emblems, which I do have. I have enough, but it would require me converting conquest emblems, and they're not cheap. They're still valuable enough that I don't want to waste it.
The bear is the emblem one.
Yeah, and then there's I thought it was the mammoth. The bear you can buy cash.
Traveler's Tundra Mammoth, that one's gold.
No, so the Traveler's Tundra one is 16,000, I think, for me. I'm not buying that yet. The other there's 2 mammoths. The other one's 200 heroism, and the bear is cash because I own the bear. Because when you said the Amani War Bear, I thought you can just buy the new one that looks just like it, well, similar to it now for $675 gold.
Dollars.
If I
Sorry.
could ride,
$1 gold, it's the same thing for us.
Right?
if I could
Coins.
ride a chocobo as a Tauren, I would have not the engineering, the gnome mount. That would be the mount I would ride if I could.
Didn't one of you
Oh,
get
the Mechanostriders? Yeah.
I'm a
Didn't-
Canostrider, yeah.
Didn't somebody get the
As a
Raptor?
Tauren.
Did somebody get the Raptor this week?
Nope.
Someone
Mm-mm.
posted a picture of it. Oh, you know what's in my guild? I've been trying to get Raptor Tiger since TBC. I don't do it every week though, or every 3 days or whatever. I do it like when I remember to. With that new flight path makes it so much easier though. Thank God for that thing. But
Wait,
oh
the one at the Rebel Camp?
yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Imagine being a filthy alliance.
Dude, that's
Fly to Gromgal like a real man.
oh my
I
god.
don't
Well,
even need to fly. You just take a zeppelin.
well, the thing is,
Yeah.
I'm going for the achievement Insanity, I think that's what it's called. The Insane. And
Insane
Oh, why?
is
Why would you do that to
I
yourself?
was- well, I was-
It's a feat of strength. It's not even an achievement.
Yeah, you don't even get
the
points
feeder-
for it.
Yeah,
You
whatever.
don't.
I get the title. That's all I want. Grift in the
You get
insane.
griefed by yourself.
Okay, so
Yeah.
so anyway, I was hated by all of the goblins, so I couldn't even land in oh my gosh. Booty Bay and Booty Bay without, and because of when I was doing the achievement, I couldn't land and then kill stuff that attacked me. I would have to run away because killing it would break the rep, and I'd have to then go kill more. It was
Yikes.
yeah, that's
You
what you do.
Got to kill pirates. You got to kill
jump
pirates
in,
and Tannerus.
You jump in the water. Yeah,
Gems.
but I'm not hated. What's the one that's next?
Unfriendly.
I'm unfriendly with everything now. I'm honored with one of them. I don't know. It takes a lot of time, guys. A lot of time.
Dude, you know what will suck is if you're like one mount away and the only one that you can think of you haven't done yet is like the Winter Spring Frost Saber.
Yeah, I started that one.
There is definitely a lot more than 100 mounts, by the way.
How many are
Because
there?
I'm only so with all the other mounts that you can get from the Argent Crusade, I'm at 92 out of 100. I am missing the Tiger, Raptor, the ZA, no, not the ZA mount, Karazhan
ZG?
mount.
Hmm.
I'm missing both ZG mounts, but it's the Kara mounts, Baron mounts, and Alar. And last one I need is there's technically you can also get the raid mounts, the meta achievement mounts.
Yeah.
You have the
And the
Anzu
dungeon
mount?
one.
Yeah, I have Anzu. I got
Yeah, that one.
so back when Wrath first came out and everything, I'm just like, I'm gonna go get this mount first day.
140.
Nice.
Nice.
Oh man,
Are
this
there-
is easy.
Are there really 140 already? That's so nuts if I think about
Yeah.
it. Like there was like 40 in original, right? There was like 40.
Right.
40 sounds like a lot
I know.
for original.
But where are the 140 coming from? Because like there weren't that many places you could get just like, you know, buy them out. Like you get the ones in Nagrand. I have all those. You could get the one from Cenarion. You could get the 3 from the Sky Guard, whatever. Like there wasn't like an like not every boss had one or anything like that.
So the Netherwing Drakes.
Oh yeah, I've got all
the Netherwing
those.
Drakes, that's another 8
And then
right there.
the Blood Elf and Draenei ones added a few as well. Like 6, I think.
PvP mounts.
Oh, do I have those? Ooh. I'd have to actually go through and look. Anyway, sorry to get off topic with that, but yeah.
And all the holiday mounts too.
I haven't gotten a single holiday mount. I've tried. I really want the Headless Horseman because
The only
he's
thing that sucks is the brooms don't count because they're not permanent mounts.
Yep.
Oh, the 4 from AQ haven't gotten yet either. Because you need rep for that, right?
No.
Nope.
No,
Just
you
drop
just
off
go
the
in there
trash.
and kill trash.
Yeah, just go solo trash, bro.
I hope.
They only drop in 40 though. They're not dropping 20.
Yeah. I think that they might have upped the drop rate for the red one, or Blaze and Bob got extremely lucky because we went in there like 3-4 weeks ago, and he got all 4 different colors by the time we got to like the first boss.
Wait,
There's not that much trash.
Can you ride them outside of AQ and does it count?
No.
No.
Oh my god.
Well, they still count towards the achievement, but you can't write them out of.
I think I had all of them and threw them away because I thought that they weren't real mounts. You know, you could only use them in AQ.
I mean, technically you're right, but they count towards the achievement.
Do they go into your mount thing, or do you have to keep them in your bank?
Yeah, they go in your collection.
Okay, then I don't care. I'll grab them. I'll get it done. Sorry, I'm excited. Okay. So we talked a little bit about ratings. Does anybody else have any like cool gear upgrades? I got like nothing. I got my fluxing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we skipped me talking about me killing Algalon on both 10 and 25. On the
great.
Yeah, dude. Oh, I saw the post.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah,
it's huge.
Freaking took us like 3 weeks to prog, but 10 man only took me 2 weeks to kill it.
Were you cat or cat bear?
Neither, because I'm forced to play a class and a spec I don't want to play.
Resto, because you would want to play Boomy, right?
Nope, I'm forced to play a class and a spec I don't want to play.
Wow.
Oh no.
Shaman.
No, I play
God.
Paladin, prop paladin, or holy paladin. It's got to be paladin.
I was gonna say, please don't say Fury Warrior.
No, our GM's a Fury Warrior. And
Oh, he doesn't want
when,
the competition for Shadowmourne, probably.
no,
know
he
what
has the
prize that.
competition. He has the competition. Because like we have other people that are DKs and like our main tank's supposed to be a DK tank, but he's playing Paladin until we're pretty much done with all of our prog, which we technically are. We've killed everything. So he might be doing the swap here soon, but he might not do it till TOGC when it's fine to do so, because TOGC is a cakewalk compared to this
Oh yeah,
phase.
it's gonna be even easier because of the eye level boost in Ulduar. Like we're just gonna
Oh.
everyone's gonna stomp all over TOGC.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
There's a mount from there too.
really good segue,
Yep.
because I actually have a question for you guys. We talked about this a little bit, I think, in my Discord. Because Ulduar was boosted and TOGC is kind of small, what's the timing for phase 2 and phase 3? Like, do they make phase 2 longer and then phase 3 shorter? Do they bring out
Yes.
do they bring out phase 3 early because it's not really a big upgrade? It's more of an extension, and Ulduar will, as they've planned, continue on anyway.
They said before it launched that they wanted to give Ulduar time to breathe. So I think it's like in phase 1 was 16 weeks. So phase 2 definitely is going to be longer than that.
Okay, but here's my
2024.
argument against that, or not against it, but kind of like a different way to look at it. They wanted to make Ulduar breathe, right? So what they did was they boosted the item level so that people continue to play it even after the phase is over. If that's their fix to make Ulduar being played all the time, then they can release TOGC whenever they want, and people will continue. Like, if TOGC came out tomorrow, are you stopping Ulduar? No. If it came out in a month, you're not. So there's really no delineation between Ulduar and TOGC, because you'll be running them both simultaneously, as opposed to ICC. When it comes out, everything goes, and you just do ICC. So TOGC isn't going to override Ulduar. It's going to just allow you to have a second raid day, because in about 2 weeks, everyone's going to be on one raid again, 1 day of raiding.
I'm gonna say no. It's once you release TOGC, and when people are starting to clear heroic TOGC 25 and 10, Ulduar goes out the window. The only reason you go back to that is to get your Holy Paladins their best in slot Trinket game. The Holy Paladins to get Valenier, or even the rest of your healers to get Valenier, because Valenier's still stupid strong even in ICC.
Yeah.
Those are the main reasons why you go back. I mean, you'll want to go back for all your physical DPS for the ring, because the ring from 25 men is still BIS throughout TOGC for every class. So that's another thing you'll want to go back for, but you don't even have to go that far just to kill Algalon, as long as you have the key. You kill 2 bosses and you're there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only one you actually have to kill is like Leviathan, XT, and like Cologarn. That's it.
You don't even have to kill Cologarn to get
you can go around the
Algalon's
corner.
room.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
So
You only have to
then,
kill 2 bosses.
Why do people prio that? Like, you could just go in order, but some people will beeline straight to Algalon first. What's the logic in that?
Depending on, like, if you're trying to go for the title, I can see the point of doing this, just skipping straight to him. But like, if you can kill him consistently without the extra gear, then you just kill him consistently without the extra gear. You get that other pieces just to make your other hard modes go by faster.
I guess that makes
and also like if you haven't killed them yet, like the sooner you kill them, the sooner you can like look better on like the server rankings or whatever.
That's
so like
prio.
Instead of, if you don't feel like the extra gear from the other bosses will help you on the fight, if it's like a mechanics thing, not a numbers thing for your particular group, then like you just keep progging it, and eventually it'll fall over.
I mean, if you want to get technical, it is definitely a mechanics thing for a lot of guilds. From all the logs that I've looked at and have been asked to be looked at, most of them are failing mechanics. Like,
yeah, that's what I
horribly.
mean. Like if that's what it is for your group, if you just need to practice the mechanics and you're not having trouble with like the numbers, like if you have enough DPS already and you're just failing at mechanics, then you need to practice the mechanics. So you got to keep progging the fight, basically.
Yeah,
It's better to do that earlier in the raid night when everybody's still fresh than it is to do it later on.
Yeah, once you get the mechanics down, the DPS comes. Like, like parses, your first kill are going to suck. They just it's just how it is. From every first kills I've seen, other than the first like 5 to 10, like the parses for those people just absolutely sucked. But after a week or two of downing it, getting the mechanics down pat, your parses will go up naturally.
What mechanics was your guild struggling with, bearbis? That it took 3 weeks.
We were mostly struggling with tank swaps, but that was a matter of me sitting down with the other tank, and then we started struggling on big bangs going out because we had somebody swap to Shadow Priest just for that specifically. So they were kind of getting the feel for that, so it took us a little bit for that. And then it was people dying to the Cosmic Smashes because they're not listening to callouts.
Oh, I got a question that actually pivots really good. So we were having somebody do a call out, melee, Cosmic Smash and melee, and everyone moves to the other side, right? Someone suggested just move every time, every time, and that way you don't have to sit there and try to like figure out, because like we had an elemental up and I legit could not see the red. So I just moved. And everyone's
just moved just in case.
Yeah, and everyone's like, "Why are you moving? There isn't one there." And I'm like, it's not worth it to just stand there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you can't tell, just be played safe and just move anyway.
Yeah,
so we also move the tanks on that fight too. Like the tanks will swap positions just every time we get the move call out. Tanks swap positions.
Yeah. I really like the idea of just move. That way you don't have to sit there and like look, or because we had a lot of people juking. Like
it takes the guesswork out of it.
Like you see someone move and you panic and move too because you're like, oh god, is there one? And then you're like, oh no, and then you're all scattered, and then a lot of people like forget to like after the big bang happens, people don't like pixel stack, I think is what they call it, pixel perfect stack, and then you get like this happened to us. We had a big bang, we had everybody come back, stack on, it was square, and I'm chilling, and they call the big bang, or no, not the big bang, oh my god,
Cosmic Smash.
Thank you, the Cosmic Smash. And I run to position 2, and there was already a Cosmic Smash there. So I just bolted out of melee. I'm like, nope, not worth it, not worth dying. And 2 people ran right into this Cosmic Smash, get blown up, and they're like, well, how did that happen? I'm like, well, if you check the video, you'll see that somebody didn't stack properly and left it right where they didn't need to. But like, it would make way more sense if everyone could just stack, and that would be. But also, I think just switching every time. Who cares? Let's just switch. Let's have fun. Let's move our legs.
So as a ranged, we had 2 different strategies. We had everybody like light spread, and I like that strategy a lot better. And then we tried to like have the range all stacked, so that all the range would just move.
In melee or in ranged?
In ranged, like the range would still be ranged, but still all be stacked. And then I couldn't see the Cosmic Smash.
All the range stack?
Yeah, all the range stack. They wanted to try that. And
so that everybody moves. Yeah, but then you're slowing down your range DPS because they're all
everybody
casters.
has to move. Yeah. Exactly. Like instead of only 3, 4, maybe 5 people having to move,
it's a big enough room that it's not that big of a deal. Like melee, you're trapped at this like on this little circle around the boss. You can't just like be anywhere. You got to be behind the boss somewhere in this little semicircle. Whereas like casters, they could literally be anywhere as long as they're close enough to a void to get into the upside down. So like it doesn't really matter for them. And stacking seems like all you're doing is you're slowing your range DPS down, because literally name a range DPS that can cast or that doesn't cast. Like hunters maybe can get away with it. Yeah.
Hunters can definitely get away with it. You can basically save a lot of your rotation cooldowns for when you have to move, and you're just hitting steady shots when you're standing there.
So
it's not like the best. Yeah, it's not like the best DPS either, but I mean, you can still do pretty well at it. But most guilds have their hunters be star killers anyways.
Oh yeah, we had a Shadow Priest do it. Is that crazy?
Well, no, you can have the Shadow Priest do it because they're already out for the Big Bang for the most part, so they want to time some of them to blow up while their Big Bang's going off, while they have their big cooldown.
Yeah,
Scotty J's our Shadow Priest, and he did that for 10-man, but I think it was our Hunter doing it in 25. So I don't know. We're gonna go back in tomorrow for 25 Algalon. So maybe they'll have Scotty just do it in 25 as well.
So Pocket Healer says bringing the boss to the edge of the map makes it so your raid can spread, but the crescent moon shape you make with range lets Pally DSAC hit everyone no matter where they are. I think it's crazy how OP DSAC is, or just like Pally cooldowns in general. Like we went into 25 man Algalon with 3 paladins, and they're like, oh man, we need one more. And I'm like, we have 3 paladins.
We run with 4.
That's what they said. They're like, you should really run 4 so you have a constant cycle of it. And I'm like,
yeah, if you have a Prada Ret and 2 Holies, that's kind of what a lot of people are running anyway. So like
double prot, double holy.
That works too. Go. And then keep the red at home because we don't need their better DPS than Feral anymore. Get them out of here.
I mean, they don't re-rolled.
Yeah,
our ret re-rolled to a freaking warlock.
Good, actually doing damage now.
Oh, hey, that's like supporting people that say Feral should roll something shaman. I don't know.
I don't know, man. Sorry, anybody who says Feral's bad overall just because they looked at the like average on Warcraft logs, like I don't like.
I did a whole video.
They don't look at what buffs we actually bring. They don't look at everything.
Well, they're also like we were like, I think Grif, you made the video about it, how like, you know, it doesn't tell the whole story. Like Feral's bad because they're bad on average. It's like, yeah, on average you can cherry pick whatever you want to make something look bad, but like on the fights where Feral as a class as a whole isn't bad, we're still good. Like I was like 3rd or 4th overall on our Ignis kill the other day because it's a single target fight for melee. I did really well in that fight. There's a few fights where we do really actually well. Like Feral does really well on Algalon.
Yeah.
I think that what I've decided to do is, instead of trying to compete with other classes, I do what a lot of people have kind of said they do anyway, which I'm competing with my other raid members. If I can do well against them, I mean, it doesn't going against other classes does not affect your parse. Your parse is just against other class members yourself anyway. So really the fun thing is to I was running a 10-man, and me and the Fury Warrior were both really well geared, and he was absolutely pumping. So my focus wasn't I need to get a 99 parse. My focus was I need to out DPS this ass. Like we were talking S2. I'm just gonna swear. We were talking shit to each other, like, but in a fun way. Like, bro. Like, I can't believe
I'm always talking shit to my Fury Warriors.
Yeah, because it's fun. Like it's not like going against Warlocks. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, well, you beat me because
Warlocks don't take our leather bis.
I actually say what's going on casters when I'm beating them.
Oh, if I beat a mage or a Warlock, I'm like, bro. What are you doing?
Dude, Lazarus and chat. I'm the best Feral in my guild. I may be the only one, but I'm the best.
There you go. And honestly,
so let's just say I used to be one of 2 Ferals in my guild. I kind of pushed the other one out because I'm better.
For sure.
You get upset.
So that actually brings me to one of the questions I want to talk about, which we kind of touched on. But if you're looking at a log, like, okay, we've got the logs. What is the best boss fight to look and say, like, hey, like, because like just yesterday, someone posted in Feral DPS discussion on my Discord, and they said, hey, I need to get better. Here's my log specifically. I think he asked about Vesix. And
Vesix normal mode.
Right. So here's the question.
I replied to that one.
What's the best boss fight for that? Like, what is the best? Like, if you want to show someone your logs and say, look, here's what I'm doing. It's not Cologarn. It's not, I would say, not even Freya. It's not Mimiron because you're moving too much. So like XT, I could see you saying maybe Iron Council, even though like it's not fair comparing it to other classes. I think Iron Council, as long as you're not tanking, is a very interesting DPS race where you're pumping, but you're also having to hold your cooldowns for the right times, which makes it a little bit more challenging.
I think there's too much RNG in Council because like the runes don't drop at a regular interval. They come off cooldown, but they don't always cast right away and stuff. So like I don't know if Council's a good one, because if you get an early rune, you can basically use an early rune to skip a rune. You can do that, and then your fight time will be shorter and your DPS will be higher, and then that's like skews things. I think Ignis is my choice, because if the raid is stacked properly, you don't have to deal, because like when you get knocked in the air, you're still in melee range, you can still keep DPSing. Like I rolled the same 5-stack Lacerate the entire fight Ignis. It was not even a problem at all. It was like the smoothest fight I've ever had, like ever.
Does it matter
was on Ignis.
Does it matter what strat you're using on Ignis though?
What do you mean?
Yes, it does matter.
So like
if you're doing the burn strat, then yes, it's going to matter.
So some people kill the dude, some people don't. And if you're killing the dude, I mean, you're not in charge of killing the dude, but maybe you're off
the
tanking.
ads?
Yeah,
the ads.
Yeah, we just burn. Like if you're doing burn strat, then Ignis is a good one to look at.
But that's the problem though, because like if someone says, "Oh, we don't do burn strat," then you're like, "Oh, okay, well."
Yeah, you gotta find a different fight then.
Yeah.
Well, they're just not going to parse. So
Razor scale,
Razor
scale.
Yeah,
That
Razor
is
scale.
the best fight to do.
Razor scale is pretty straightforward.
Does not matter.
When
What
you get
about
knocked,
XT?
'cause it doesn't include any of the razor scale does not include add damage in the logs. And when you get bumped, you just feral charge and you're good. You don't you lose like half a second uptime if that.
Yeah.
Compared to everyone else that's flying in the air.
it works
Well,
for boomies too, because boomies these days, at least me, I've been getting a bop, so I don't get knocked back. Because they're like mages can ice block it, warlocks can just teleport back in. So
Mages can even blink back down. I don't
Yeah,
even know what
yeah.
their problem is.
When-
calling out
yeah,
all this
block,
other
blink, yeah.
bullshit.
When do boomies get I
we
forget
get
what
bop,
it's
dude.
no, what's it called?
huge.
Flappy wings? I forgot what it's
Oh.
called.
Flap? What? There's no way that's what. That's.
Flutter?
I
Mop.
want that to be what it's
Mop.
called.
What's it
Mop.
called?
It's-
Flappy wings.
Mop.
Is it
Yeah,
flutter
it's something stupid, and they literally
or flap? I think it is just called flap.
I think that was mop.
It's so stupid. Like, not stupid. It's a handy tool because you can do some really cool stuff, like some cheese strats, where you can, like, out in open world. I remember I used to do like weird things where I would like get somewhere, hit something, and then flap slowly into a place. It's like slow fall, but you can't not do
But
this
cooler.
because that's what it does. It literally flaps. Oh my god, it's so stupid. If I had a quick video of it, I'd show you guys. But it's like flap. Yeah, I think it's called flap. It's slow fall. Anyway, yeah, you guys don't have
So
you guys
dumb.
You guys don't have flap yet, so that's your that's your downside. Anyway,
But, so as far as it goes back to the parsing, like Razor Scale's the only one you can really look at because XT is also RNG as far as like how many Ferocious Bites did you do? Because I got a 40k crit Ferocious Bite on XT last week.
what about Thorum?
Yeah, it's large. I guess Thorm could. It
Forum
depends
is
on.
RNG.
Mm.
It's
It is
RNG
pretty
if
RNG,
you get
but, like,
the-
If you, depending on how you're stacking, like our group does 3 melee stacks and a tank stack, so we have like a little diamond around the boss. So like if we have to move, if the group that I'm in, I'm always like directly behind. If my group has to move, where I move to avoid the zap is still behind the boss, so I can still keep DPSing.
Oh, okay.
So,
I
like-
mean, but if you have to move, it's still a loss in DPS. If you're going to compare like a pure tank and spink fight, Razor Scale, it has to be like the
or you don't have to
number
like
one.
strafe at all.
Yeah, where you don't have to really move. Like you feral charge back, but like you can easily swap to bear form
But
and feral charge back with zero issues.
It only happens once, right? The kickback.
Yeah, exactly.
And
it only happens
always
once.
only happens once. So everyone's doing the exact same mechanic. You're going up in the air and you're charging back in. Like if you're not pressing the charge button, it's a loss of DPS, and it's not RNG. It's you just not playing your class perfectly.
If you want to go full Gigabrain, like there's a timer for the knockback, and you just like time it so that you're gonna do a bear weave right then anyway. So you feral charge in and then refresh lacerate, and then you're good.
Oh, you bear charge.
You
Yeah.
want to bear charge in
Because
because
the
you're
cooldown-
wasting energy.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
not only that,
right.
but you waste the energy going into using the cat, and that's a loss in DPS.
You get a little, if
bear
you're already
charge
in bear
costs
form when the
basically
bump
nothing.
happens, you get a little bit of rage from it too.
So
Yeah.
I want to talk about bear weave versus gift weave, but before we get into that, let's talk about some videos because we kind of skipped over videos that people made, especially Go, who actually made videos this week. So Go, did you make any videos this week?
Go the curve breaker.
Tell us about
That's
feral.
all I can talk about tonight because you guys are going to talk
I
like
know. I'm sorry,
a
man.
foreign language here in a couple minutes with this bear weaving stuff. But yeah, I dropped 2 whole videos this week, and one was Hodir, which I want to be the first to say this. Ferals, if you want to increase your DPS on Hodir, switch to Boomy.
Nope, ain't happening.
Everybody always tells me, just do this farm as a bear
As a
instead.
bear. as a bear.
Yeah.
When I
just go
see
bear
my
form.
boomkins beating me in DPS, I will swap to boomkin. Until then,
Oh
not
man,
happening.
if your boomy is not beating you in Hodir, your boomy needs to be replaced or roll something
They
different.
aren't being. They're not being stacked in the pumper group because we focus one group of 6 people for the storm cloud every week.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
That sucks for them. They are.
And
I
it's
think they're the
usually
lowest
fire
benefited.
mage, warlock.
You know who
Yeah.
pumps on that? Rogues. Rogues pump on Hodir.
Yeah, assassination rogues weirdly are good
Yeah.
damage.
Yeah.
It's almost
had
like when
some
your
good
class is
melee
super
this
easy to
week.
play and does good damage by default. It's almost
Yeah,
like
when you have to
good
press
damage.
freaking 2 buttons, it's
Yeah.
stupid easy. Imagine.
Yeah. Whatever.
Go figure.
Okay. So go. You
So,
did one on
yeah.
Hodir.
Boss tips for boomkins, yeah. So I have this whole series every phase. I put out boss tips for boomies specifically. So that was the one that I put out most recently. I've got like Thorum. I've got the Siege of Ulduar boss is already out. The Antechamber of Ulduar. There's a couple of hard modes that we're still kind of like progressing on. So I haven't done those yet. So those will come out in a couple weeks when I
Yeah.
actually get to parse on them.
What was
And
the other
then
one?
the other one was
I
I
know.
soloed Gar in Molten Core. And I felt pretty proud of that because I went in there in phase 1. I couldn't do it. The ads have like 61k HP and they hit for like 450, 500 a swing. So there's 8 ads and Gar all doing the same swing timer. And it takes a couple seconds when they're on me and I just die.
So
But-
I know a really easy strat for.
Don't say it. You're already
go
smiling. I see you're
Just go bear.
you're like
You're like.
I
he
got
was-
that comment. I
You're-
for
so-
sure got the comment.
How long
was-
did it take you to kill him?
7.5 minutes.
Okay, I can
Which-
do it in 3.5. Go back.
I was gonna say. The reason I know you can do it, Bear, is because Go was like, "Oh, Molten Core, I couldn't get past Gar," and I was like, "All right, let's see what happens." And I just
like, bet.
face pulled the whole thing and just that was it. That was all there was to it. But yeah, like I really struggled with Baron. I really struggled with Baron.
I tried Baron and it does the mana drain magic debuff, and I'm like, well, how do I get rid of this magic debuff?
Oh, yeah, that doesn't
There's
affect me, so I didn't even
restorative-
think about it.
There's restorative potion,
Yeah.
but that's only like I could pre-pop one and then use one during the fight, but the boss has 800k HP, something like that.
Plus, you're getting
So
shot
I'm like,
in the air all the time.
Yeah, so I'm like, I can't do that much damage in like a minute until he's just gonna drain all my mana. But that is a goal of mine, is to get Baron down as well. But yeah, those are my 2 videos.
Fire resist. I just want to say, if you guys haven't seen Go's YouTube channel, if you're ever considering going with Boomy, he's definitely a good resource. He goes through all stuff. He'll teach you pretty much everything you need to know about being a Boomy. So if you are feral / Boomy, or if you're thinking about going Boomy because feral is now meme spec,
Your guild wants you to do more damage.
yeah, check out Classic Go.
They
but yeah.
want me to do more damage, get the rest of the raid to do more damage first,
Yeah.
and then I'll think about it.
Yeah, I think
Uno reverse.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys, I'm going home.
it was a. If you're doing 7-minute Ignis, you're fine. Just stick with the class you enjoy playing, because that don't matter at
It
that point.
doesn't matter. It does not matter. At least we have the most consistent DPS and don't go
Oh, I want to do polls too while we're talking about Boomy stuff. So
Yeah.
I want to hit yours. You only had one, it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it says, being 6 lockouts in now, do you think the eye level buff on Ulduar gear has been a good change so far? I apologize for the weird pause I put in there. Eye level buff on Ulduar gear has been a good change so far. 75% says yes, it was needed, and 25% said no, they shouldn't have buffed it. What do you guys think?
So I actually voted on that one, and I said no. Because
For ferals.
it
You
just
mean no
makes
for
it-
ferals?
Well, yeah, no for every class because it kind of puts us on less of an even playing field. Like before, we were doing pretty comparable damage, but once the stats get changed, like we do less because of the massive stats that Caster got. They got way more stats because we still use tier. We're
Yeah,
going to be using tier.
ferals would have scaled better had we not bumped the eye level because of the amount of tier that we use. right?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
before we would have not used any of the tier, but from what I saw, but now we actually use 2 pieces because it's better. Like the 2 set bonus isn't that great. It's a slight DPS increase if it had a better ICD or even a better uptime. Like it would have been a lot better. But
Table,
because they didn't do anything.
Table, what do you think?
What was the original question? I got lost in the sauce there.
Do you think eye level buff on Ulduar has been a good change?
Oh, right. I answered yes to this poll. Mostly because of Mjolnir, to be honest. Like
That's fair.
needing that much less armor pen to be soft capped is really nice. Because with the extra armor pen on the proc, we can have like half of our gems still being primary stat instead of full armor pen gems. Whereas like the old buff, we would have had to have mostly armor pen gems if we wanted to soft cap.
Yeah,
So
that's a good point.
It feels a little better. Like once we're full bist out and we all have rune zone and we're like soft capped and everything like that, like we're gonna be cranking pretty hard on those single target fights.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be really interesting when Trial comes out, because are we even excited gear wise for Trial? I mean, we'll get that Trinket.
Death's Choice, Death's Verdict.
Yeah, the Trinket, right? Trinket.
Yeah, and then there's that staff for pole armor or whatever that's slightly better than Dreambinder. It's like 6 eye levels or whatever.
There's 2 different staffs. Well, there's 2 different weapons, and I've done the difference between the 2, and they're like 20 DPS difference.
Yeah,
so
they're real close.
They're really, really close. And the one you want, because it has 0 competition, is technically Twins Pact, but Hellion's Glaive, which is I think it's just the Horde version of, I don't know what the Alliance version is for that. So Hellion's Glaive is 20 DPS better than Twins Pact.
So one of the comments I got on that was no one plays the game. So do we just not even discuss it any further? Because apparently nobody even plays this game.
Yeah.
What's the point?
There's at least 850,000 people playing last I checked.
I think
only.
I think there's plenty of people playing the game. And either that or and this does happen. I don't know how you guys do on video count, like what your highest view count, but like I think my highest view count video is like 25,000, and there's no way someone's going back, or let's say 500 people are watching it each 500 times. I'm not that entertaining, guys. I'm telling you. Or people who don't play the game but still want to watch the content. That's weird. Like I get it because you gotta like, oh, what's going on? But like, there's not that many people that
watch
do that.
This stuff just to keep up on what's going on in the game. Like I stopped playing for a while, and I was only playing like Final Fantasy 14, not playing WoW at all. But I was still watching Scotty J's videos just to keep myself updated.
But it's not 80% of like my views are from people that don't play the game. I think there is a chunk, and that makes sense. But like, it's got to be a small chunk. So there's definitely people playing classic WoW. Like definitely. I see people every day.
People quitting, coming back. There's new people starting. Like I've run across a ton of people who never played WoW before Classic, and they're just getting into it like right now.
That's crazy. You missed the first.
Yeah, it is crazy.
Yeah,
because like it's not an. I assumed, like I definitely assumed when Classic first was announced that like most of the people playing would be people looking for the nostalgia thing. But there was a bunch of people who were like, yeah, when WoW came out, like it was right when like my real life was starting, so I didn't have time to play it, and I always wished that I did. So now's my chance. Like there's a ton of people that are in that boat
because it was pop culture. Like it was beyond just like, oh, it's a game I play. No, it's like a thing. People like South Park made things, Mr.
Yeah, the
T.
episode of South Park.
I actually,
the funniest little anecdote I have is there was one person who I came across who like who started playing in Wrath. They're like, yeah, I'm gonna start playing, and the reason that they wanted to start playing was because of that Mr. T
episode.
The Mr. T Night Elf Mohawk commercial with the Mohawk grenades.
That was hilarious.
And he quit after like 3 days because the Mohawk grenades were not in Wrath Classic.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
He quit 3 days in. He was like, "There's no Mohawk grenades. I'm out of here."
What?
I don't know.
Advertising.
Yeah, I definitely think I think nostalgia is a factor. I definitely think maybe the FOMA from 15 years ago is a factor, but honestly I do think it's a good game. Like I don't think anyone can be like, this game's garbage. Like it has problems, but all games do. And I honestly think this game is fun to play.
I think it aged better than a lot of other games that came out around the same time. Like, think about whatever Call of Duty came out in, what was it, 2008 was when
Yeah.
Wrath launched, right?
I
Like,
still
whatever
play Halo.
Modern
COD came out
Warfare
in-
2. Modern Warfare 2, by the way.
So, like, that one also aged well, so that's a bad example.
Yeah, I was gonna say I play Halo, but like I will say,
like, think about games that came out after that. Like,
Well,
that era of gaming is
everyone
like,
tried to be WoW, and I think that was the dumbest thing they could have done. Like they were like Guild Wars 2 was like borderline WoW clone. I mean, I don't know what came first, to be honest, but like it felt very much like it was competing directly with WoW instead of just being its own game. But maybe that was just me. Unlike any MMO, it just can't be beat. But yeah,
it's got the vibes, man. I think the art style is really what does it too, because like it's an old game, but it doesn't really look that old because it's unique. It doesn't.
I think
it's
the
not trying to be
lore-
photorealistic. There's a lot of other games that are MMOs that are trying to have like really good graphics,
Mhm.
and they may look really good at the time that they come out, but after like a few years, they look like dog shit. But like Classic always looked like dog shit, so it's fine.
I love the classic like look. I hate playing
Yeah.
retail with like the updated graphics and everything. Like retail just looks terrible to me.
It's a good
Classic
cartoon.
is like yeah.
I wanna respond to Ryan. Ryan, yeah, pay off your you want those
Well,
two pieces, or
technically you can get rid of you can use the 4-piece because it's 2%. Like 2%, that's not that big. You can get away with wearing 4-piece, but the only caveat of that is that you need the Mimiron hard 10-man goggles in order to do that. If you can pay off and get the shoulder pads of Intruder and Embrace of the Gladiator, you can run the 25-man Cologarn gloves, which have hit armor pen and everything else like that, and be fine.
yeah, you can actually. I think because most people are either running helm shoulder tier or helm glove tier, and the DPS difference is like 10 as long as you gem appropriately based on the gear changes. 4-piece, man, that's tough to make it work though, in my opinion. I think it's easier just to go down to 2-piece, because with 4-piece you have to give up the chest, which is absolutely bonkers, and or the legs. I don't know. I
Currently running 4-piece, and it's
I am too,
not that much
but-
different. Like I need another piece in order to swap to 2-piece, like completely swap to 2-piece. But like it's a nice gain. It's just not that big.
That's an interesting question. Zan wants to know, is Comet Trinket useless for PvP? I don't know what PvPs are doing, to be honest with you.
Bis PvP Trinket is technically dark matter because of the crit and attack power you get from it. You don't really
For the
want
big
Comet
opener,
Strail, 'cause
you want the big boom.
yeah, you want the
It
big
also
opener.
depends if you're gonna flex. Like if you're not the primary burst on if you're running like 3s or 5s and you're not the primary burst, you're gonna be doing like instant cast heals and whatever. The haste can help because if you need to hard cast a heal, it'll be faster.
Yeah, it all depends on your comp. Like
Yeah.
2s, it's definitely going to be dark matter. 3s,
Yeah,
is
if you're going
Comet
straight
Trail.
burst for sure, dark matter, 100%.
But if you really want to get into PvP, just tell your loot council, tell all your officers you need the leggings from Yogg 25, because those will be bis through this phase and next for PvP.
So I gotta read Drew Berger's comment, because he says got 4-piece and goggles, then told to play Boomy.
Yeah.
That's rough, bro. Because I
Then
mean,
you're doing something wrong with your rotation. And you should
Be
tell your
purposely
I don't
bad at
know.
boomies so they tell you to go back to Feral.
I think
Yeah.
I think there's also like this there's, how do I put this? And Table, I bet, can back me up on this. Sometimes when there's a guild struggling, they look for someone to blame. And Feral is an easy target. Like, oh, we can't get Hodier down. Let's bring in a Boomy over Feral because we want that extra pump. Well, if
tell your Fury Warrior to swap.
But my point is, it's not the solution to the problem. Like, Ferals can still do good DPS. Yes, Boomies are good on maybe a single fight, but like Ferals are still there. And like, if your guild's trying to fix a problem with slap a Boomy on it, I mean, look at Go. Doesn't work. Doesn't work.
It also depends. If you're the only one bringing that melee crit, you are actually, depending on how many physical DPS you are running, it would be a DPS loss for you to go Boomy.
Yeah. Oh, but that's a good
But
segue.
it all just depends.
Bear
you're
weaving
totally right,
versus
like, if
gift
there's-
weaving.
If you're like that, because that happened to me on Hodier, I'm presuming that's why you brought that up. But like,
Yeah.
they swapped me out because they're like, we're gonna swap with the lowest DPS. When like DPS wasn't our problem in the fight, it was people being bad at getting Stormcloud out to the people who needed it to be able to pump the boss.
Yeah.
So they were like, oh, we're gonna swap with the lowest DPS. Meanwhile, I'm sitting there getting griefed because whenever there was like a beam in melee, the tank would not rotate the boss so that the melee were always behind it. So I had to choose between being in the beam but not being able to shred, or not being in the beam and shredding. And we also, as melee, we weren't getting Stormcloud, so I was like getting double griefed. So like, in a sense, I do kind of understand why they did swap me out, because it's like, well, if he can't shred, but that's not why they did it. They're like, oh, he can't shred, so we should swap him up for somebody else. They don't fucking know. They have no idea.
Just go bear and hit Maul. You'll do like 14k crits on Maul.
Yeah, just weave in when you're ready to bear weave and just stack blast rate, and it ticks like a truck.
14k.
But yeah, if it's like on a lot of fights, it's not a
auto attack, bro. Like imagine.
That's cute.
Full
That's
rage bar.
cute. This guy, whatever.
My 86k Starfire laughs.
I'm just saying without like the crit modifier from any of that plus the haste. Like if you can with the haste on Hodier as a bear, you can actually get to below 1 second auto attacks.
I got a fun story for you guys for Hodier. We were our range was having such a hard time stacking the campfire buff or whatever it was. They had me run out and just start spamming Moonfire because
help stack it faster.
Yeah, and I was like, if this is what we have to do, because like I'm very much in the mentality that Hodier, we are a utility class. Feral specifically are a utility class. We break out the frozen targets. We do whatever we got to do to help the casters boost. Yeah.
No.
I would, as a caster on that fight, I would never ask our feral to do that.
As a feral on that fight, I never swap off the ball.
If they're clumped, if the tombs are clumped, I'll go out and swipe them.
Campfire.
So at least I don't lose.
As long as you're on the boss, stay on the boss. You are the worst person to swap. And
we can leap. No, I agree. Okay, but only in the
mentality. DPS lost to leap. It's a DPS lost to swap targets and try and put up anything on there, because by the time you put stuff up on that single target, it's dead already. You can't even get a full rotation off. The worst target.
Yeah, but you're assuming that everyone knows what they're doing, and that's what I'm pointing out. I am.
That's the problem.
I'm not assuming anything.
Yes, you
generally
are.
Have better.
I get okay. We had an event where nobody killed anything and everything stayed frozen. I would rather shift into caster form, do some Moonfires, go back into cat, and then when everything freezes, I go and unfreeze it to help. Because if I can do that for those guys, they can at least pump well enough that it should break. It should finish the boss. Because honestly, I'm a caterer. I'll do whatever it takes to down the boss.
But I'm just saying I'm not assuming anything, because 3 shreds and the freaking target's done. 3 shreds.
I'll agree with you, Grif, for progression. After you've got the fight down for hard mode,
I'll give you that.
I don't even say for progression.
Then never Moonfire.
No. If everyone knows what they're doing, I shouldn't have to do anything. Like everyone should know what they're doing. But like when you have people that can't even stack the campfire fast enough, you're at that point where you're like, okay, do we get the hard mode or do we keep dying? And I'm like, you know what? I'll do it. I'll do whatever it takes. And I think I completely am okay with losing out on my parse and DPS and all the good stuff in order to help them down it. But yeah, you're right. If we've downed this boss like 3 weeks in a row and they still need me to hold their hands, no, I'm done. You can figure it out. Never trained it.
They need to learn at some point.
Yeah, if your casters are griefing the entire raid and your other melee griefing the entire raid, they need to learn.
Yeah,
where like
it was 10 man. It was 10 man. It was not our 25 man. It was a 10 man. So anyway,
still, two on 10 man, I can kill an entire thing by myself, like if I needed to, but I shouldn't have to swap.
But that's the point I'm making, is like you shouldn't have to, but you do what you got to do to get the stupid boss down.
I mean, we don't even want any loot off of it, so I don't even know why you're trying to make that an argument.
Maybe the neck. If you're getting like
I am a team player.
Maybe the neck.
I am a team player, guys. Team player.
Well, just get the Freya 10-man neck, because that's the best.
Haven't
neck.
seen it.
Right, I'm
Haven't
just saying,
seen
if
it.
you have really bad neck drop luck, but you keep seeing those Hodier necks, then like just pick one up, whatever, until you
Okay.
get the one you actually want.
Keep running the Saffron neck. I'm not even joking about it. Like, if you need the hit, then gem hit.
Okay, guys. I want to pivot to Bear Weave versus Gift Weave. I will let you guys know what this is about.
Pivot.
So first, I want to explain what I'm talking about. So if you've looked at any of the logs lately, you've seen both bear weaving and gift weaving up towards the top of the 99s. Now, does this mean that they're equal footing? No, probably not. But I want to discuss it in two forms: which one's more fun or easy, and then which one is better DPS overall. And we can discuss this any way you want, but I do want to add the caveat: you need to clarify 10-man versus 25-man, because I do think that is a big factor for one of them, but I don't want to like spoiler it. Let's talk about it.
All right, so bear weaving, you're gonna want to do
my
that in
God.
both 10 and 25 men, and it's also the funnest thing to do. Gift weaving is not fun. You're spending all this gold on consumes. You might run out during a fight, and then you have to change up your whole strategy. It's annoying.
Who is this guy?
I mean, he's not wrong.
He's not wrong, but
He's not wrong. He's a freaking boom, and he's not wrong.
Yeah, that's my take.
Okay, so let me back this up. Let's talk about gift weaving first. So if you guys don't know what gift weaving is, it's essentially when you're low on energy, you shift into caster form and use Gift of the Wild to proc an Omen of Clarity, which you then go back into cat form and use to shred, or usually rake are the two you mainly use. Or it doesn't really matter, it's a free shot. The alternative is bear weaving, and normally when we talk about bear weaving, we're talking about specifically lacerate weaving, though some people still do mangle weave. Lacerate weaving is the concept of keeping lacerate up on the target while you're doing cat stuff, and in theory also mangling in bear form to keep the debuff up, so you're not wasting energy in cat form. Those are the two. And somebody did point out in the comments, yes, I definitely agree that there is this huge skill gap between the two. I think I could teach anybody how to gift weave. Trying to explain bear weaving is in itself, like, it's not hard, I just did it, but like getting someone to do it is like, okay, well, what you did wrong here was you shifted when you had 35 energy, and you shouldn't have. You should have done it when you were lower. You should have used something first, then done the shift. And you got to remember to switch back and keep the stack.
You can't shift at 35 though. It just is a shorter bear weave.
Yeah, I think the point probably is just like, don't shift when you're high energy is really what it is.
When you're over 42 energy, if you shift, you're griefing yourself.
I'll remember 42
is the magic number.
If you're doing it for like, if you need an emergency lacerate weave just to keep stacks rolling, then you can
get back.
just do a 1 GCD weave at that point, and then you can shift kind of whenever. Even like, even if I know that lacerate's gonna drop, like if I just had to get out of melee range for whatever, like I don't even know what fight would be a good example of that, but like if you're like, shit, like I didn't get a chance to refresh lacerate, I need to like there you go, Mim. So like there's fire in melee, and you're like, damn, I'm gonna lose my stack. So like you could bark skin and then get another stack up, or you run out, and then when you get back in, like even if you're already capped energy, it's still better to keep the lacerate rolling.
Let me ask you guys,
why instead of having to rebuild it.
Have you tried bear weaving though? Or sorry, have you tried gift weaving, guys? I think Table did.
I've done both. But I want to hear why Table thinks that keeping that lacerate stack up is
just that one lacerate. You can feral charge back in, do the lacerate, go back cat, and you're set. Especially if you already had combo points and you just refresh your Savage Roar, because to rebuild your 5 stack of lacerate, you're losing potential damage from the lacerate at that point.
But as a point, the point of keeping the lacerate stacks up is it's going to do more DPS than a rake will. If you want to prioritize anything as far as your bleeds, you want to prioritize 5 stacks of lacerate over a rake, because lacerate cannot crit. Yeah, until next phase, rake cannot.
Yeah, we get that set bonus that lets rake crit, but yeah, until then, like especially if you're rolling, like if you have like a dark matter up. If you can get a refresh when dark matter's up, it'll snapshot the crit and you're set.
Yep.
And then it'll like every tick will be a crit.
Is
I just wanted to point out.
Is that
Yeah.
still considered flower shifting if you're doing that pre-pull to get an Omen proc to start the fight?
No,
with?
because
flower shifting
everyone
is
should
when
do
it's
that.
Part of the when it's part of the rotation is when
Yeah.
it's flower shifting.
That's just in combat. Okay.
In combat, yeah.
Every feral should open with a mark of the, like a Gift of the Wild proc. Like if if your raid is not doing countdowns, that is an issue because you really for a lot of things you really want to know exactly when the boss is going to be pulled. For one, for Gift of the Wild, but two, you should be pre-popping either Potion of Speed, which I think is the better two, or magic something that gives you crit.
Wild magic.
Wild magic. So either one, if you accidentally pop it right on pull, you're locked out of a second haste pot or whatever. For Gift of the Wild, every feral benefits from having a free shot right at the opener. It'll allow you to get into deeper into your combo points before you actually have to pop Berserk. So like you can go like depending on what you're doing, Mangle, Savage Roar, Rake, Shred, and then Berserk if you get your Omen of Clarity proc and maybe
Fury.
Yeah, well, I do. So when I say Berserk, I actually time those together. So like I think of them as like that at that moment. Boom, boom.
Yeah.
Yeah. But okay, so I just want to break this up though. 5-man gift weaving, don't do it. It's stupid. It's a waste. It doesn't proc half the time. So if you are 5-manning and you're not ready for bear weaving, just stay cat. Do something else. I don't know.
Or like even Wrath Weave, dude. At that
Wrath
point.
weaving would be better.
Weaving,
Healing weaving, whatever.
Definitely good.
Yeah.
I haven't heard Wrath weaving in a while.
That's because in raid it's not really a thing. Like it's not. It's
you probably haven't heard since I was like making fun of you for having really bad Wrath Omen proc chance, where I was having like 40%.
Yeah,
like,
that's
how come feral
months, dude.
How come feral procs more on their spells?
That's exactly how I sound.
Dude.
Well, with Wrath Weaving, you have a higher proc rate. That's the whole reason why.
Yeah, it's a bug. It's like some sort of bug that they fixed in the later code, but then they broke it again on purpose to preserve the original feeling from original Wrath. For some reason, the instant cast spells have a higher chance proc Omen for specifically the instant cast ones through predatory strikes. So like even like when I resto weave,
you're proccing constantly. Yeah,
my instant regrowth. Yeah, you can just watch that. The thing I posted however long ago, a couple weeks ago. Like I was getting a lot of Omen procs from those regrowths.
Yeah, I was doing that on. We did a Vesix 10-man, and I was just doing like I wasn't spec for it, but I was just popping. I think I was just using regrowth on the tank during Vesix, and almost every time I was like Omen of Clarity proc. Oh right, like this is nutty. More beneficial than Gift of the Wild is, but it's not as nearly high percentage. That's the downside.
If you're high on threat, it's actually really good to throw Resto Cat into the mix for Vezex. Just because like you don't even need the talent points. You're getting extra healing off. That's less mana that healers have to use.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll even throw them into ranged if I can hit them.
Yeah.
I'll throw them on anybody.
I think the 10 like for 10-man, I definitely feel like it has definitely like a niche purpose. If 25-man, I think I told you, Table, I tried it and it just I was so low because there was, the healers were just like absolutely over pumping if you ask me.
Yeah,
but like
I didn't even do it last week because like our first Vezex kill, I did it and it was like it actually made an impact. On our second Vezex kill, our healer comp was like slightly different. Like our first kill, we had a Resto Shaman and a Holy Paladin, among others. But our kill the following week, instead of the Resto Shaman, we had a second Holy Paladin. So like I did like less than half of the healing on the second kill than I did on the first one. So like I was like, all right, week 3, I'm not even like our third Vezex kill, I'm not gonna Resto Weave at all because like clearly they don't need me to do it.
Yeah.
So it can help if you're progging and you need the extra healing, it can definitely be helpful. Or if you're having threat issues, you might as well.
Yeah.
Even if a lot of it's going to be overhealing, that's still less for the healers to worry about. And a regrowth on the tank is going to generate less threat than a Maul crit.
Yeah. Well, especially if you have a weak healer. I mean, that's like the big one. Like if your healers are like geared out, especially if you have the right comp for it, really not that big. But if you have like just one weak healer, you can give them a lot more freedom to just chill out for a little bit during, we'll call it phase 1. I'm not sure how the phases are actually broken up before Animus pops up. To just like do the
post Animus.
Yeah. Is it phase 1, phase 2? I don't know.
Technically, there are no phases, like, because he still hits the same. He does his
Yeah.
berserk the same time. Like, there's
Actually,
technically no phases.
Actually,
the shadow crashes do FUCK ton more damage.
Whoa,
in
dude.
phase
We're
two.
not talking about casters here. We're talking about ferals.
yeah,
You can get
yeah.
out of here with
So
that.
there's a clear phase difference there because
Great.
there's more
Only for
damage.
casters. We're
Great.
talking ferals here.
Great tip, Go. Great tip. Thanks. Next
You're
time
welcome.
we're out rezzing somebody, we'll think about that because that's the only time we're ever out in no man's land is when some stupid boomy dies and I have to go res him.
Just so
Bro.
that they can be somebody else
Yeah.
that died too. Probably another boomkin.
Dude.
Okay.
Dude. Okay.
Okay.
Dude,
So okay.
all this roast chicken.
So anyway,
Okay.
so we talked about gift weaving. Like I said, gift weaving is not great for 5, not great for 10. I think it's decent in. I tried it for a week. I don't know if you guys. I told you guys that I tried it for a full week. Everything I did, I gift wove. Yeah, I gift wove,
Yeah.
and it is easy. Like that's the thing. It is easy. Like
Oh yeah.
it's like I need free energy. Well, just gift weave, free proc, boom, go back to cat. It's triggering when you don't get it on 25 man. Like I've done a gift weave and like, and you're like, well, what am I doing here? What am I doing here? And I'm just whatever. It's like getting an Omen of Clarity proc right as you press lacerate. You're like, no. And you're like, oh well.
I've had to repair bot weave a couple times too because I forgot to buy spine leaf before raid, so I had to drop a repair bot, buy spine leaf from the repair bot, so I could gift weave.
Just so there's an add-on for that will automatically refill your thing whenever you go back to a vendor.
Nice.
Called TSM that you can set up to buy reagents for that fact. But also for the gift weaving on 10 man, it actually can be viable depending on how many pet classes you have. If you have 3 or 4 pet classes in there, you can get an extra proc because some weird reason pets count for more. I don't know the exact math for it, but like every time I've had 3 or even 4 pet classes in a 10 man, I've been able to get procs like every single time. It might have been pure
code,
RNG, but I'm thinking, probably the spaghetti code for pets in general.
So go ahead.
Does it buff mirror images for mages? Do you know?
No,
I don't think
it doesn't.
So. Like it doesn't do it for like it doesn't do it for Army of the Dead. It doesn't do it for treants. It doesn't do it for mirror images.
No, it doesn't do it for treants because they're technically guardians. Only you can single target them and buff them, but it doesn't do it that way. It doesn't even do it for wolves. No, you would have to buff them individually.
I've never tried.
Does it do it for fire elemental, like when shamans drop the Ellie totem?
Technically, no. No.
Can you buff those though?
You can buff those. It's again, you have to either single target do it, but as a paladin, I know you can buff all of them at once, just because of how they're spaghetti code for freaking.
Our enhancement shaman is our loot master, so I'm for sure gonna throw a Mark of the Wild on his totem next time.
Go has a question or a comment.
Guys, maybe it's a bug. This could have been from a recent patch on Tuesday. I just dropped my treants. I popped Gift of the Wild. They all 3 got it. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, yeah. That might have been like a bug that they introduced with something, but
or
for the
it's
past
how
weeks,
it's always done.
Working.
I'm either way, whatever. Who cares? I mean, that's not why I'm doing it. I'm letting you know right now.
That's the right mindset. That's the feral mindset.
Yeah, who cares?
Whatever.
Yeah.
What?
Maybe it does.
Another feral bug?
Okay, let me target all this.
No. Yeah. Hey guys, hold on. I gotta stop DPSing and buff these tree ants really quick. Did he pop them? Did he pop? Oh, he popped them. Quick. Yeah, go ahead, man.
You can buff infernals, by the way, because those actually count as pets.
All right, what do you got?
While we're on the topic of all these weaving things and treants, is that still a thing, or did they fix that where you
they fixed it.
cast your treants and you swap specs?
Did they fix it, or did people just stop doing it because it's dumb?
Yeah, it's
Did it despawn one of the treants, so you still had 2 treants? Like, how did it get fixed?
So it doesn't scale very well. Like, it's not a huge DPS increase first off, but when they changed the whole thing for other pets
DKs,
being summoned when you swap, it just despawns. But all of them just despawn now.
Okay, sorry. I wanna continue on bear weaving. I apologize to take that time away from you, Go.
No, you're good.
Okay, so first I want to hit Vladimir's question. Sorry, Vladimir, I did see it. I just didn't want to interrupt. His question is, if you have Tiger Fury up and it still have a couple seconds left, but last rate is going to fall, do you go bear to keep the stack up, or do you stay cat to get the full value of Tiger's Fury? I would say
Go bear.
I would say go. Yeah, I was gonna say last rate, and then Tiger's Fury is not going anywhere. Yeah, you lose a little bit of like cooldown because you can't use it immediately, but you want to keep that last rate stack rolling. It's such a chunk of DPS. You just can't let it fall off.
If you're trying to maintain last rate, like that's your priority, is to maintain the last rate.
You're thinking, so Tiger's Fury is only going to give you like maybe 5 DPS, maybe, and that's kind of stretching it. But
you talking about the buff from it, or are you talking about using it for the energy? That's the thing
yeah, the energy is the thing I was thinking.
I'm asking Vladimir. Like Vladimir, is that what you mean? Do you mean like Tiger's Fury is available to use for the energy, or do you mean the increased damage done buff from Tiger's Fury? Because that is a distinction to make too.
I don't think
either way still go bear, but
I don't think Tiger's Fury buff, like sorry, the damage increase from Tiger's Fury is ever a factor in anything ever.
Yeah, that's not why we use it at all. Like it's such a small amount.
It's like cool
when you're critting like 18k shreds or whatever, like the extra 42 damage or whatever from Tiger's Fury is like it might as well not even be there. It might as well just only be hey, here's some free energy.
80.
So
either way, drop in the bucket, you know what I mean?
Ichia Durna said, any of you tried swapping the third Mangle relic for the Agi proc together with Rip and Shred relic? I have not.
So now we're moving into the point of idle weaving. Swapping between the Mangle and the Rip idols and the Shred idol, it's kind of minuscule. But if you're swapping between just the Shred and the Rip one, it's about a 50 DPS increase if you do it properly. But it can also be 100 DPS loss if you do it improperly. So most people opt to not do the swap just because of the RNG factor or not being able to do it properly.
Plus, once we start stacking more and more armor pen, the value of the Shred idol increases as well.
Yeah.
So it's like in phase 1, the Rip and the Shred idol were like pretty close to each other in terms of value. And as we stack more armor pen, the Shred idol starts to pull ahead in value. So it's kind of like you can once you're stacked with armor pen, you can pretty much just leave the Shred idol on the whole time and it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, even right now, I've been leaving without even stacking armor pen, I've been leaving the Shred idol on the full time anyway, mostly because I keep forgetting to swap. But
I've done the armor pen gemming like a couple days ago, and I switched to the Shred, and I like it better. I know it's stupid because it's like you probably don't even notice the difference. Honestly, I like the idea that my Shred's just getting beefier and beefier every time I get more gear. But I
still haven't done this armor pen swap.
Yeah,
I'm probably like stupid geared, but like I still haven't done the swap. I've done sims, like it's a 20 DPS loss for me, so I could do the swap, but
I got 3 pieces in one day, and I was like, I'll armor pen gem them, and then one day I was looking at it and like, well, I'll do the pants that I have to, like, and the next thing I knew, I was like, whatever, I've committed. Now I don't have to worry about armor pen gems. I don't know. It's not a crisis. I think I've made a couple videos about this. I want to make I know Table, you made an armor pen video. I want to make one too, because why not? But talking specifically about like when's the moment and like why it's such a big deal in phase 2, like why ARP is like literally in every single discussion about ferals. It's at least right now, and it's because right now is when we switch, we like move to ARP, and right now for everyone is different. So I want to make a video about that, kind of like get people clarity on like here's
how
when you swap.
Know when you should swap.
Yeah, and why we talk about it. What does it actually do? Like, cool, it boosts you up. Well, really, it boosts your Shred, and your Shred is the big deal, and that's something you have to realize, that your Shred now is gonna, your Shred's gonna hit for more. Blah 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 blah. But yeah,
the video that I did was really just like, here's generally what it's gonna be like, the range of ARP that it's gonna be around to make sense to swap, but like I didn't really go into too much specifics. Like no matter what, like anybody who's asking the question of when should I swap, it's like, well, whenever the sim shows a green number in your increase.
And people hate that. Like, I know people don't like simming, but like the reality is, if you're asking
no magic answer.
What if you're asking the question, you have to understand that the answer is simming. Like, if you don't want to know the exact moment, just go with your gut, because that's about as accurate without a sim as you're gonna get. Like, you know, maybe check your logs, see how you're doing, but like without simming, there's no like bearbis said earlier, he's like, I'm not gonna do it because it's only a 20 DPS increase. If he doesn't have simming to back that comment up, then he's just like, I'm not gonna do it yet.
Well, when you're doing 9100 DPS on a fight, like, it's kind of minuscule.
I mean, I don't have the freaking staff or the trinket, so I wouldn't know what 90 anything sounds like. But
weak ones, you know.
I'm still in like the 85 parse, which 8500 parse. Sorry, 8500 DPS on sims, because my gear just isn't there. But yeah, like I was doing some math, like, if I upgrade my weapon and my trinket, it's an increase of, I think, over 400 DPS. If I upgrade everything else, it's 500. Like, all 6 other pieces I want. Like, that's how big the weapon and the trinket are.
The trinket alone is a 300 DPS increase based off of previous phase. The weapon alone from Journey's End is 600 DPS increase.
I did the math. I don't know. I mean, I was just doing a quick sim.
That's the math. That's the math from phase 1 bis. If you just did those,
if you're doing phase 1 bis, yes, I already have
even
TE.
So even if you're still using like a bunch of the stuff, and you still are
Tortured
using
Earth.
a Nax. Well, if you're using a Nax weapon still, or even a Nax trinket, it's still 300 for the trinket and 600 for the weapon.
That makes sense.
Tortured Earth is like around 300 to 400, depending on the rest of your gear.
Yeah,
but everything all depends on the rest of your gear. If you cannot make it work because of the rest of your gear, then you have to find out how to make it work.
I just want Dreambinder. Dreambinder.
Where's it from?
Freya 25
Freya or Algalon.
25?
Or Algalon, right? Doesn't Algalon drop it too?
Yeah, it's on Alg's loot table too, yeah.
Yeah.
If you're not killing Freya 25, you're not killing Algalon, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I mean,
once you start getting Algalon kills in your belt, you got 2 shots a week.
You got 2 opportunities per week, yeah. So
or,
hold on.
Or you could just see one every week and just give it to your hunter.
Just be lucky, that's all.
So Purple Steve.
Sorry. Dreambinder.
Purple Steve asked, is 4 set worth it? We kind of already talked about this, but if we want to like reiterate.
If you have to wait before you get your 252, then yeah, it's a good placeholder. But like,
it's also a good middle.
2 piece is good. It's like it depends. Like it depends on what the rest of your gear is. That's like going to be the classic answer that we give for everything. It depends on what the rest of your gear is. Like you might see more damage out of 2 piece. You might see more damage out of 4 piece. But generally speaking, once you have access to more than like if you can run 2 piece tier 8. And you have a couple, like at least 2 pieces of 252 in the other slots where tier would normally go, then just run 2 piece tier 8 and that's it. But until then, if you don't want to run 2 piece, or if 4 piece sims higher, then run 4 piece.
Yeah, I like the 4 piece rotation. It took me a while to get used to it, but now I really love it for trash, obviously, because like, you know, Savage Roar just stays up forever, but like I'm really starting to like it in regular boss fights as well. Just having the ability to 1 combo point SR and know you're good for like a solid, 15, 16, I think it's 18 seconds total, but like a solid.
Like I've said this previously, like that 4 piece is the equivalent of getting an extra 1.6 combo points worth of duration on your Savage Roars. So it's like if you do a 1 point Savage Roar, it's the same as if you did a 2.6 combo point Savage Roar instead.
Yep.
Oh, look, Exarch said the exact same thing. I just read this, Exarch. I was 4 set TA and I liked it because I could 1 point SR and felt like I had a lot more wiggle room with my rotation. Yeah, I agree. Like when my SR gets down prior to tier 8, or sorry, 4 set tier 8, when my SR got down below 8 seconds, I got a little like nervous. Now my SR is like 3 seconds and I'm like, I'll be fine. I got this.
3 seconds, totally fine.
I can get a combo point out.
Ryan Nag said the exact thing. Like the breaking points is the break point is the big thing.
Yeah,
like there's break points for everything. Like the same thing with like that I talked about in the armor pen video, where like there is a breakpoint where armor pen outvalues strength, and it's based on how much passive armor pen you have. It's a similar deal with the rest of your gear level, what the rest of your stats are based on the rest of the gear you have. When you can swap from 2-piece to 4-piece, it depends on the rest of your gear. 100%. There is a breakpoint at which 4-piece becomes more damage than 2-piece.
Yeah.
I don't know
And
exactly what that is, but there is a breakpoint.
it just all depends on your gear. Like
Yeah,
that's
you
just
gotta
the
sim it
general
basically.
that's general answer. And it's the same thing for what Aiden said. Like it just depends on the rest of your gear. It's hard to get feral prials based off of your gear week by week, but like you kind of have to go with what you're gonna get.
You
Yeah,
never
like
know what you're
we were
gonna
saying
get.
earlier, phase 2 will last at least 16 weeks because Blizzard said they wanted Ulduar to last longer than Nax. Nax was 16 weeks. We're in week like what we're about to be. We're in week 7, week 8.
6 or 7, yeah.
Yeah, so like we still got at least 10 more weeks to go
Oof.
before like that should hopefully be enough time to be able to get the pieces that you need.
Aaron asked a really good question. How much does kill speed factor into DPS in your opinion? I think a lot, and I think also at a scale. Like if you're
It doesn't
talking,
even need to be opinion. It's like it's like demonstrably fact
yeah,
that
but
faster kill time is higher DPS.
But I think
Kind
there's like a space. Like let's say it's a fight that the fastest skilled kills in 2 minutes and you kill in 2:20. I don't think that's going to absolutely destroy your DPS. I think you'll still be able to pump. But if you're going from people that can do it in 2 minutes and you doing it in 3.5 minutes, absolutely, you just can't maintain that long. 20 extra seconds, couple of good RNG. Yeah, what's up, Blazing Bob?
Well, it's like I know what you're saying, but like the exact numbers do matter because if you're doing a 320 kill, that means you're getting an extra berserk, and you could actually end up with higher DPS because you get an extra berserk, you get an extra tricky proc,
that
et cetera,
specific example really bit me in the ass. But yes,
but it depends. Like the closer you are to what
245 is what I meant to say.
The closest duration of the fight to your most recent berserk is higher damage, but the further away you get from when your berserk ended, the lower your damage is going to be.
Yeah, Aiden says some classes don't care so much about kill time. No, I feel kill time for ferals can just become a slot machine to the longer the fight is. I think there are classes that can maintain way better than ferals. I mean, that's like a no-brainer. I would argue rogues are probably one of them that could just, it doesn't matter the fight length, they can just keep pumping and pumping, but everyone still wants fast kill times.
For the majority of classes, there are a couple of outliers. But as far as like sustained damage, Feral has like the best sustained as long as you're maintaining your rotation. Because we can consistently do the same amount of DPS. We don't rely on our burst windows as much as other classes do. But the more that we do get our burst windows, the higher our DPS is going to be for those times.
I feel like that for Boomy too. Like our Starfall 1 minute cooldown. So if we pop that the first 5 seconds, if we have a fight length that's like a minute 15, minute 20, it's a really good fight length. And then like when we get to the 2 minute mark, 2 minutes not really that great. But then if we add another 15, 20 seconds, we get a second full Starfall. Then all of a sudden it becomes like a better time than like the minute 50 did. It's weird for Boomy.
Yeah. Everything as far as like kill times is super weird, and it's just a matter of how your guild plays to get the better parses, but it also comes down to your personal DPS because like your entire guild could be doing 99s and you're doing like a 60. That's on you at that point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like
and
to fully answer the question, really, it's more like it does matter, but it depends.
Yeah,
it matters. Like if you have 2 players of equal skill that make the same amount of mistakes in the rotation, the one who has the faster kill time generally is going to be higher damage.
I will say too, when I look at like top pumpers in feral groups, I always look at like the full raid, and I guarantee you, when you see like a 99 pumper, they're never the only one. There's always like 10 of them that are 98, 99, 95. Like they're all pumping. And that's the reality. Like, yeah, you can have somebody in your run get a 99 and everyone's like 85, 90, stuff like that. But it's way more common that if you're pumping, everyone else is pumping. Or sorry, when you're parsing, so is everyone else. So that's why like people, they'll switch guilds to get like a bigger pumper group because they want They don't want to just, I can pump a 99. They want everyone, because then that 99 becomes a 99.9, and that's what they really want. Let's be honest.
Feels good.
Let's just say I'm in a parse guild right now, and I'm still like not pushing like amazing numbers, but I'm still kind of up there with like a bunch of the other ferals. I'm not the best in the world. I know I'm not the best, but I can give some pretty good ideas on what I'm doing wrong and what others are doing wrong.
So
It just depends.
So I kind of want to bring it back to this gift weave. I know we kind of beat it, but I'm curious. What do you guys think of these people that are parsing though? Like they're up there in the top percentile gift weaving. Are they just great RNG? Because I hate to tell you, it's the same dude. I'm gonna say it's just one guy every time. Is he getting fed special gear? I mean, what do you think this is? If you guys don't know who it is, it's Rugs. Rugs is a gift weaver that absolutely pumps.
I already knew who it was, but I can tell you this: he is getting fed gear. 1, 2. It all comes down to the RNG of your crits at that point, because you can stay monocat longer, and it also depends on like what other you're running for the comp. Like it depends on your comp, it depends on your team, it depends on the players. It's a player thing, but like you can't really try and do exactly what they're doing if you don't have the right comp to do it. You can't really get the same RNG for crits if you just don't have the crit percentage to support it.
And I think, coming back to what Table said earlier, I think gift weaving benefits a lot more from fight times. Like if you're talking about like, hey, how big of a factor is fight times? I think gift weaving has much more of an impact from fast fight kills, and I think that's why another reason why someone like Rugs might get a 99. Not that he's not pumping great, but that also everyone else is pumping great, and allowing him to not have to gift weave. I think on the 99 I looked at, where he was like number 3 in the world, I think he only gift weaved 4 times or like 6 times maybe, whereas you see a lot of these guys. I was looking at someone posted theirs, it was like 17 times, and you're like, 17 times, that's a lot of times to not be, in cat form. So maybe that is the factor, is the reason Rugs is not just because he's got the gear, and just because everyone because he's perfect at his rotation, but because also everyone in his guild is also 99ing, and it's helping him minimize the amount of times he actually has to do that cheese strat. Whew, sorry.
There's not really a cheese either, though.
Yeah, I don't want to call it cheese strat, because like bear weaving is a cheese strat, really. Or I guess
clever use of game mechanics.
Sure. Okay, so then let's talk bear weaving. You've had to at least explain this to one person in your life. How easy is it for someone to pick up bear weaving on a scale from 1 to 10? Not feral, just bear weaving.
As a comparison to what? Like you kind of have to compare it to something.
Are you talking to somebody who's never played feral?
Someone who has played feral in TBC. They mained something else. They were asked to go feral in Wrath, and they're like, okay, cool, I'm an off tank, but a lot of fights I don't need it. I want to pump. What do I, how much skill do I require? Like, is this easy to pick up? It's hard because I don't see any comparison in WoW. Like really, like, oh, shaman? I don't know.
Warlock, affliction warlock, honestly.
Okay.
But as far as like your thing, like if they're asking you to go feral, then there's something wrong. I'm sorry, but there is something wrong.
Well, if they don't have one, if you don't have a feral.
Well, you don't need a feral. People have done it without ferals.
Yeah, but people like, you know what? It'd be fun. Leave your hunter at home. We want your feral.
Sure, but yeah. As far as like picking up bear weaving goes, because let's stay on that part of the topic. It can be quite difficult because it is a completely new rotation. It's the closest thing you can get to power shifting currently. So it is a little bit more difficult than power shifting, but once you start the practice, once you get the time in on the dummy and just figure out, okay, what can I do to get the best DPS out of it? It comes pretty naturally at that point, in my opinion, but you kind of need the extra practice. So I would give it a 7.
How long do you think it would take me to pick up bear weaving? as somebody that's never played Feral like ever. I did it to level in TBC from like 40 to 61, and that's my experience for like playing Feral.
Did you ever power shift?
I did a little bit, a tiny bit. So Grif gave me the Wolf's Head helm, and I did it a little bit, and
it's easier to explain bear weaving to
okay.
somebody who has even a little bit of experience power shifting, or at least understands when you power shift, because when you power shift is basically when you bear weave. Like when you would have power shifted when you were low in energy and didn't have enough energy to do anything, that's when you bear weave. So like people who have power shifted before, like that's the void that bear weaving is filling, is the lack of power shifting. So you
yeah, go ahead, Table. Finish it.
that's pretty much it. Like, yeah, like when you don't have enough energy to do anything in cat, you go to bear and do stuff in bear, because your energy regenerates in the background now, which is different from vanilla and TBC, where you only regenerated energy when you were actually in cat form. Now it just constantly will regenerate in the background, and the Fearer Town allows you to keep some of that energy when you go back to cat form. So while your energy is regenerating in cat form, you're in bear form doing other stuff while you wait for that energy to regenerate.
So I just want to chime in. Is that a bug? Does that? I've read the tooltip for how energy is supposed to work. What it says is it's supposed to maintain or retain energy that you had in cat form when you go back to it. I don't think it's supposed to regen out of form, but that's what it does.
No, it does. Yeah, it was.
No, I know it does that.
Intended, yeah,
that was the way it was intended.
Yeah.
The wording is bad. Then
the wording is bad because they wanted Feral Cat to play a lot like, just a lot like a rogue. And when a rogue is in their stuff and you have the max fear talent, like you're going to have 100 energy when you swap into cat. They just wanted it that way. It's just bad wording.
Yeah, that's too bad.
I might report it as a bug, just in case it is a bug, because that sounds broken. We need to fix that.
No, we don't.
It's definitely not a bug.
Watch you point that out, and like the devs respond to you immediately.
If you look up the patch notes, I think it's like 3.1 or something like that. They straight up said in the patch notes that they wanted feral cats to feel more like rogues as an energy-based class. They wanted to level the playing field between energy classes as far as like their energy regen.
They missed it.
Well, yes, they did miss it, but in the original state of ferals, we were keeping up with rogues until like they started nerfing specific stuff. Like we were still up there if you go back in the day.
So Aiden says we shouldn't be. Oh, sorry, I read the wrong one. Aaron says, are we going to get a point where biting is a better option than bear or flower weaving? No. No. It doesn't make sense. At least I can't think of any scenario where using energy is better than shifting out and giving yourself energy while doing damage. Like bear weaving is just such a good solution to no energy. If there's a point where we just regen energy at such a rate, then yeah, but that'll never happen.
It's basically we're capped by our energy regen rate, and there's nothing that we have that increases our rate of energy regen. The only thing we have is clear casting. So the only way for us to not need to bear weave anymore is if we get more Omen procs, basically. If we get more clear casting procs, we're using less energy, which on average over the course of a fight technically gives us higher energy regen. If you can look at it a certain way, and that's how you can see it, is by having free shreds, we have more total energy to spend over the course of the fight. That's the only way to increase to make us not need to bear weave anymore. Like look at private servers like Warmain, where Omen of Clarity is broken. It procs off of a bunch of stuff that's not supposed to proc it, that never procced it back in the day and doesn't in Wrath Classic. They don't bear weave on Warmain because they don't need to, because they're getting so many extra Omen procs.
Yeah.
And they're also doing way more DPS than we are because of that.
So Aiden said, I'm just following up. Aiden, flower weaving kind of lets you bite. Yeah, that's true. Because you aren't doing the bear weaving, if you want to, you can at any time you can just pop into caster, gift of the wild, and then you've got procs. You can feed yourself. The problem is you are losing. I mean, like you're getting the ferocious bite, but you're losing out on the extra DPS that bear weaving itself does. So yes, it does. That's part of like the flower weaving or the bear. Oh my god, flower shifting, gift weaving. Is you get more ferocious bites. That's the how it kind of balances itself, but it doesn't compete. I mean, unless you're really lucky, it doesn't really compete with bear weaving, specifically lacerate weaving. Oh, and Exarch. Let me know what that weak ore is. Post in my Discord, because if it's mine, awesome. If it's someone else's, I'd love to see it because I like to try it, stuff like that. Yeah, I made a weak ore like 6 months ago, maybe 3 months ago.
I remember when we were testing that and stuff.
Yeah, it was a pain. It was a pain. I still don't know how well it works.
I think I was testing it in beta, so it's got to be like 4 or 5 months ago.
Well, I made one, but so did either Nerd Egghead or James. And I think
it was James.
Yeah.
I think it was James. Because I remember looking at James' weak aura. I don't remember Nerd's weak aura.
So Aiden asked, do you really think bear weaving won't be on the way out by ICC? Based on what we've seen, it's here to stay.
Based off of the sims that I've done, it's here to stay. There's no way around it.
It may be. No, I can't even say it. No, it'll still be used. If it can be used, it will be used. Like Table said, there's no special way to regenerate energy. They're not changing Omen of Clarity proc. The Omen of Clarity proc boost we have right now, and we still bear weave. So no, it's just not. I mean, you don't have to bear weave. That's something people need to realize. You can just not, but your DPS will be lower than someone that does.
Can you still 99 without it?
Yes.
If you get like crazy RNG.
Good, yeah, like good Omen procs. Essentially, you get a War Main run, like where it's just and you're like, yeah.
It's either bear weave or be lucky. Like the ideal situation is for us to get like a string of Omen procs such that we can't bear weave. Like the only way, like you could go back and refresh your lacerate stacks or whatever, but like there will be, like at the start of a fight, for example, before you even go into your first weave or whatever, like at the very beginning, if you're getting like a ton of Omen procs at the beginning of the fight, then yeah, delay your bear weave until you stop getting procs. Delay your bear weave until you're low energy, and then you can start weaving.
Yeah, for sure.
But there have been fights, especially the really short ones in Nax. Like there was a few really super short fights in Nax, the ones that last like, I don't know, 30 seconds, 40 seconds, whatever. The turbo fast ones. Yeah, like a noob. Where like literally I didn't go to bear a single time because I didn't need to because I was getting Owen procs.
Yeah.
So like I had people like asking me like, hey, do you not bear weave on a noob anymore? It's like I didn't need to.
Yeah.
Like, it's not I didn't make a decision about whether or not I was going to. I didn't need to, so I didn't. Because
your berserk would end at around 23, 24 seconds. Yeah. Well, 25 seconds in, and it's a 30-second fight. So you're like, if I get like 2 procs, no, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Because I mean, what are you gonna do? Put up 1 lacerate and the fight's over? I mean, without bear weaving. Okay, so Aaron,
you can do 2 mauls and that's it.
So without bear weaving, are you just overcapping combo points with shred and not caring? I can't see a way to use all the extra combo points. Yeah, that's essentially that's it.
Because like until we get higher crit, there's no way to fit extra finishers in. So like if you're not going to be able to get enough combo points for another finisher, then you just keep shredding and just deal with the fact that you're burning combo points.
Yeah. So
once you get soft cap, which is 71%.
So what Exarch said is you can fit Ferocious Bite in if you have like the room for it, but you have to have Rip and Savage Roar high enough that you know you can rebuild the combo points fast enough to then not miss out on either of those, because you never want SR off, and you if Rip's gonna fall off, it should only be for like a millisecond. Don't we get Omen or free combo points from crit though? No.
There's a challenge that you get an extra combo point when
we
you
get 2. Yeah. So crit is going to help you at 71%, whatever the cap is.
It's combo point generation is what it's gonna like. Having higher crit means that you're gonna crit on your combo moves, which is gonna give you more combo points. And if you have high enough combo point generation, yeah, you can fit Bite in.
Yeah. So like think of it like this. Let's say you're at 0 energy and you're only get the opportunity for 3 damage moves before your Rip falls off. If your crit is high enough and you're super lucky, all 3 of those might crit, and you'd actually get, I mean, it'd be 5, but you could get up to 6 combo points just using those 3 moves, which now, I mean, I've done openers where literally every single shred was regular, and I had to do 5 full shreds just to get a rip up, and like that's triggering. Like even when I'm running 52% crit, and I'm like, come on! Like you haven't yelled at your screen.
How are you so low on crit though?
I mean, 52 unbuffed. I don't know what I'm at fully buffed, but yeah, 52.
Oh, I was like, because I'm at 53 unbuffed right now,
Yeah.
and I'm not that overgeared.
I mean, you are overgeared for me. I missed 3 weeks of raiding, so.
But in comparison to other ferals, I'm really not that overgeared.
I think
because I missed 3 embraces, which for my current setup embraces the highest DPS increase. It's 150 DPS just with that alone.
I think some people are pushing up against the crit cap already that haven't moved to the ARP. Like they're gemmed agi. I think they're pushing the crit cap already.
You can definitely do the crit cap as agi, even in lower gear. Like you don't even have to be full bis or even close to full bis to be at the crit cap right now. But in next phase, you'll want to drop agi just because like you're gonna hit the crit cap for both rip and Ferocious Bite when you are using Ferocious Bite.
Whew.
Like I think my setup right now is like 66% crits with full raid buffs and everything. With the 4-set bonus, it puts you at that 71. So you don't want any more.
So Aiden asked, so I guess crit could make flower shifting closer to berry weaving. Is that a fair speculation? Yeah. I think that is the deciding factor. Like if you let's scratch crit, like the percentage you have. If you just get lucky omen and you have like enough crit, like things are critting enough that like Table said, you only bear weave because it's a filler. If you don't need the filler, you don't bear weave. And yes, standing still waiting for omen proc sucks, but if you get lucky, yeah, it can. And if your fight's shorter.
The cool thing about flower. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I'd say the cool thing about flower shifting, like we were talking about this earlier, I flower shifted for about half of phase 1 just to check it out and see what it was like, so I could actually like talk about it from experience. If you have high enough crit, you can fit bites in, right? The perfect time to flower shift is right after a bite. So you're
to guarantee your
drain your energy, and then you flower shift immediately to get an omen proc, so you can start building combo points again.
Mm-hmm.
So like with an actual like if you're set up specifically to be doing that, it's going to be not only more possible, but like the preferred way of doing it in phase 2, especially when we start getting armor pen gems. Like a crit bite does around the same damage as a shred. So like it's still one of those things where it can be risky to do it because you don't want to not have combo points to refresh any of your other more important things.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can. It gets more viable as time goes on. Flower shifting, that is, like the gap between flower shifting and bear weaving will start to close as we get further in.
I think T4 flower shifting is also kind of nice because like I was saying, SR is like whatever. Sorry, not T4 flower shifting. T4 ferocious.
I was about to say T4.
No, sorry, tier 8 4-piece, and I actually mean ferocious biting because. Yes, you still have to maintain rip, but you can put less priority on Savage Roar. Like I said, like if you're low, let's say you've got 5 combo points and you've only got 10 seconds left on Savage Roar, you can Ferocious Bite and then wait for the rake or rip, whatever you're applying. And if you don't have anything proc or anything, even 1 point Savage Roar will keep you in like going. It won't, refresh you back to 40 seconds or whatever you get, but it will allow you to like, okay, now let me work on my rip points really quick and get ready to rebuild Savage Roar because it's going to need to be earlier rather than later. So then the next time you do Savage Roar, it's like maybe a 3 combo point Savage Roar, which then gives you a better back and forth with rip. That's what I love about Feral is it's so like in the moment. You're like, okay, this is what I'll do. And then you solve the problem on the fly. At least that's what I do.
Yeah. That's the big thing. Somebody said it in XArc saying in chat. It's basically like bite. Yeah, we can fit bites in, but like when we're talking about the 71 figure, like it's the crit soft cap for bite because we get the talent that increases our crit chance with bite on bleeding targets, stuff like that. If you have that number, if you're at that number already, that's the perfect time to bite because if you go to spend combo points on a bite and it doesn't crit, then you would have been better off using a shred in that situation. So it's like the
Oh,
times when you bite, it's not just about the combo point and your combo point generation and what you have available and your timers and stuff like that. It's also how much crit you have to ensure that if you're gonna bite, it's gonna crit. Like
yeah.
basically, don't bite unless you have like a trinket proc that increases your crit, or if you're at that 71%. Because if you bite and it doesn't crit, you're griefing yourself.
But when bite does crit, it's
When
nice.
bite does crit,
It
It feels so good.
Yeah. It feels
You
good to
wouldn't
see
know,
that big old
Go.
number.
You wouldn't know.
I think I was talking to you
Oh.
about it before, Grif, right? Where I was
Yeah.
like, if I was a feral, I would go for the biggest bite crit ever because I love big crits, and that's why I
Yeah.
chose Boomkin over feral because boomies have bigger crits. It's
Yeah.
well known, it's
Yeah.
documented.
Yeah.
But do you have crits as often as ferals?
Yes.
I don't think so.
I
We're-
don't think so. Look at
Like
the
crit,
percentage for like
crit.
our
All right.
auto attacks crit like every other one at the very least.
I would say right now, if you looked at your typical Boomkin's Starfire crit percentage, it should average about 80-85%.
I do want to jump in. Aiden asks, are we going for Comet's Trail over Dark Matter? I've done some simming.
Yes.
I think Comet's Trail and Dark Matter, I mean, you're talking like 10 to 15 DPS difference, right? Like,
Yeah, they're roughly about 10 DPS difference.
Take the one that drops, Aiden. Take the one that drops.
They're so close, so you can go with whatever.
Yeah.
Comet's Trail is going to give you the bigger, like the more often of crits than Dark Matter will, but like Dark Matter is just going to give you that proc. Just feels so nice. And I think I have it pinned in the DPS channel of what the Druid Discord said for the differences between the DPS differences between each trinket.
Yeah, it's pretty minor. Like obviously Mjolnir is your go-to. Mjolnir is huge. So whatever the other one is,
DPS on a trinket.
whatever the other one is, you're just happy. Like honestly, if you're still rocking Dark Moon Fair card, you're fine. It's not gonna like, it's not gonna be this giant game changer when you get Dark Matter or but if you don't have Mjolnir, yeah, like you're gonna feel it.
If you're still rocking DMC over
Grim?
like, no, I'm saying DMC over Dark Matter.
No,
It's gonna feel really good because it's a huge increase. It's like 100 DPS with just those two trinkets.
You'll definitely feel it.
comparisons.
Yeah, upgrading your Dark Moon card
I
to
think
a Dark Matter will feel really good for sure.
have you guys gotten one yet? I know you have
No,
one, bearbis.
I haven't seen one yet.
I thought you had Dark Matter.
I don't have Dark Matter. I have Runestone. I do not have Dark Matter.
I haven't seen any of them.
I'm still rocking Grim Toll and Runestone because of the DPS gain I get from it. I don't gem armor pen either. I'm gonna continue to say this until I get
you're doing
at
double
least
ARP.
one more pieces. I'm doing double ARP trinkets, desyncing them during pre-pull, and like I feel like I'm doing a shit ton of DPS, and the Sims say I'm going to be doing it at least 91 for most fights. Like I consistently hit that marker as long as I'm allowed to bear weave. If I'm not allowed to bear weave and I'm just flower shifting, it's like 87, 88, and so the strength doesn't really matter as much. Agi does matter more for gift weaving than strength does. Like the value of it is just way higher. But for me specifically, when I can bear weave, and which I'm going to do a lot more this week, because I got the approval from the main tank just to say fuck it. So like I can consistently pump really good numbers. Usually at the beginning of the fight, like it feels so good to hit all my cooldowns and just be like 10, 11k DPS at like the first 30 seconds, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, for sure.
I got a
go ahead.
question for you about simming. So you're desyncing your trinkets pre-pool. Yep. How are you able to sim that?
You're not able to sim that properly.
So do you think it's still accurate to still sim? Or are you changing anything with your sim to like account for that, or?
So Grif made a new channel in his Discord for feral simming specifically, and posted my settings. Thank you, by the way. I saw that because it was Tauren, not Night Elf, and that's the big thing right there. There's no proper way to desync it on the GitHub sims. I think on the feral Discord sim there is a way to do it, but it's such a minor effect if you're not fully gemmed into ARP, like it'll give you during that window, it gives you like 200-300 DPS. So it's kind of minor because it's still within margin of error. That you just kind of throw the margin of error in the window, but you kind of have to divide it. There's a little bit more math that goes along with it. That's why I just post like the screenshots. There is way more math that goes into the whole desyncing, and I don't think a lot of ferals actually do it because they're not really thinking about it.
Well, most
Maybe they should watch my video about it.
Yeah, I mean, not everybody watches Tableslam's videos. Go check him out on YouTube and watch some of the stuff. He gives some really good information.
Yeah. Table's got some solid videos if you're a feral, like solid. Like especially if you're learning stuff and you have like those questions in America head. Number one though, how to survive in a cave, which I think is by far your biggest. But no, like for real, definitely check out his feral videos if you haven't already. Just if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, he does hardcore videos and he's got a whole thing on surviving in caves. It's actually honestly some of the most helpful stuff. I didn't think it. I was like, how would that be helpful? And then I started doing hardcore. And I'm like, God, where's the reset spot in this stupid cave? So yeah.
Hey man, anything to survive, right?
You get stuck in caves all the time. So yes, like I didn't think about it.
He does it on purpose. He does.
I feel bad actually. There's so many events going on in hardcore right now that like I've been doing those instead of doing cave streams, and I keep seeing like the death notifications pop across the screen of people, and I'm like, oh, that's a cave. Fuck. Damn, dude. If I kept doing cave stuff, I could have had a video for that cave out. Then maybe they wouldn't have died.
Yeah.
As far as like going back to like the whole watch feral videos, like Tableslam has some really good videos. I've watched a couple of his. I'm really bad at watching videos. I'm gonna say this 100%. Really bad at watching videos.
Mine are also very long, so I don't blame anybody for like seeing it and be like, never mind, I'll watch that. Probably never.
No, it's not just that, but I've done so much research over the past few years for RAS specifically that I haven't had to do that. I've done all this extra research so that I can do the extra parsing. And when I do need to do more research, I delve into the logs. I deep dive into logs. And I just want to bring up Aiden's little question real quick. I think I'm the only one here that is actually Horde.
No, I'm Horde.
Goes Horde too.
Oh yeah, I'm right there with you.
For Feral.
Whoa, I think it's the difference. The difference in gearing between the two is the same for Boomy as it is for Feral. It's Draenei hit Aura. That's like the main difference.
Oh yeah. Wow, I was like, there's no
entirely true, because Night Elves also get a bigger base agi. They also get the dodge. They also get the bigger base agi. Where Taurens only have the higher stamp pool.
I think the hit is the only thing that would maybe change your gear choice though.
The hit is negligible. I did the difference. It's like less than 100.
I mean, it's 1%. 1% 1%.
I mean, 100. It's like just for a racial, like 100's a lot for a racial.
It's less than 100. Less than.
I want to see those numbers. Okay, hold on.
I mean, go sim it. You have all of my stuff.
I don't have it up. True. Okay, but hold on. I want to.
I have it up. No.
Okay, so I want to pivot again because you guys hate me, and I want to talk about one other thing that people have been asking about that I honestly don't know the right answer. I've tried both, and it's still shrug. So I want to get this out before we end. Which we're not like ending right now, but I just wanted to cover it. Cologarn. Some people are doing the Mangle Idol, which I think is good no matter what. They're doing the tier 6 2-piece. I think that's right. They're doing all kinds, and they're changing their specs slightly to boost up or make their Mangle cheaper. We talked about this the other day. Yeah. However, other people have just opted to swipe. You know, get your Savage Roar up and swipe. There's
a spot you can get on the front of the platform. You like your character model like dips very slightly. But there's this one little spot where if you edge forward just enough, you can hit both arms and the body with swipe.
I would swipe.
You can still do it like standing on the tank. You just got to jump, and the jump tactic is definitely
safer.
Something to get used to.
It's safer.
It's a lot safer too. I can tell you for Cologarn this past week, I was cat, even though I told my GM and my main tank I would never be cat for that fight because it's too much of a headache. I opted into doing gift weave for it so I can get more swipes out. It's still pretty good. You want to swap your glyph of shred out if you're still using your normal spec, because shred's pointless on that fight.
Yeah.
So just swapping it to the extra 10% damage from Mangle is huge. And I felt like it did a lot better, even just wearing my normal gear set. Obviously, you swap to either the Rip or the Mangle Idol, but in the ultimate thing, like the best way to parse on that is to go and get the 2-piece tier 6, to swap your entire thing. That's the only way to really parse on it, to like get the 100. But if you're just doing it and doing it for speed, like you can still get a 99 on that fight with just using your normal spec. You just got to swap the glyph out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean,
think
that's like what, an extra 5 gold a week that you're spending when you're already, if you're gift weaving, you're spending maybe 60 to 100 gold per raid night.
yeah.
But you're getting back in like 3-4 bosses anyway, so I don't know why people complain about it so much.
Or you could do what I did last night and not swap your glyph, and also not be able to find the swipe spot and not know that you could just jump and parse a 48.
How did you not know that
dude.
you could jump though?
I
Like
just never thought
it's
to
been
do
a
it.
it's been a mechanic for every like AoE class that had like, so mages in Molten Core, they were still doing the jump for AE.
I just
Like
never thought to do it. Straight up, just never thought to do it. Just full idiot brain.
And Frost Nova.
DKs are still doing it for the extra range on their Death and Decay. Like I played a DK, so I was just like, yeah, I'll do it for the extra range. Like I just sat there and jumped on bosses. I was so freaking bored as a DK. It's like night and freaking day. As an Unholy DK compared to Feral Druid, it's night and day. Now it's a little bit closer with the nerf to Unholy DK, but it's still, to me, night and day. Like I haven't touched my Unholy DK since that nerf.
I think I would also only use 2-piece on Cologarn instead of 4-piece. I'm gonna lock that in there.
Why?
Just because
For
I'm
Boomy?
looking. No, for Feral.
He's just
I would
trolling.
only 2-piece. No, I did 2-piece for sure.
2-piece
why.
tier
Yeah.
2-piece tier 6.
2-piece tier 8. Yeah.
Why?
And then just swipe. I'd probably pop like a Serenite Bomb hyperspeed about 8-9 seconds into the
I mean,
fight, and then I would just like
no.
continue to swipe.
Okay,
And then I
so
would maybe rake about 17 seconds in.
okay, so Go is wrong.
What are you doing, Go?
If anything,
This is why I asked why, because like I'm like thinking about it. I'm like, no,
All right.
you want to
break
keep
it
the
down.
Savage Roar up there.
I'll break it
no,
down.
100% trolling.
I'm gonna mangle on the Rip, right? I'm gonna
Okay.
mangle Cologarn's body.
Okay,
And
yeah.
Then I'm gonna Savage Roar Berserk, and then I'm gonna swipe.
No.
No.
Again, no.
No?
Wait.
I'm gonna sound clip you just saying I'm gonna mangle Cologarn's body. I'm just gonna
I'm
clip
gonna
that
mangle
instead of
Cologarn's body.
So-
I'm still gonna say no, because you still want your rake up. 2, you still want your rip up, because those are the 2 big, huge damage.
Yeah,
The-
I'm gonna
The
rake.
All right,
damage
well,
to the
the
arms
mutilate
does
build
not
is Feral, you
matter
do your-
until they blow up. Until they die, the damage to the arms does not matter. The damage to the body still matters.
I say. Okay, hold on. Let me back up. Okay. First of all,
Go is trolling.
We know Go is trolling.
I'm looking at Ruggs' DPS on Cologarn.
Okay.
On his highest DPS. That's
All
what
right.
I was basing
Wait,
that
so
off of.
was Rugg swiping out of curiosity?
Yeah, he was swiping.
Swipe?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's
I was reading exactly what he was doing.
Is he really wearing only 2-piece tier 8?
Yeah.
He's not wearing tier 6.
It's
No, I
Conquerors.
would be wearing 2 or 4-piece tier 8, so you have the longer Savage Roar, so you can shred longer.
This was back on the 16th of February, so 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
Two piece tier 8.
You know, it was 2 weeks ago, right?
225 shoulders. What was it? The
Yeah.
the
It
Valentine's.
was Valentine's
thing.
buffs.
Yep.
Extra buffs. Yeah.
Yep, that's why. But if he has the 225 shoulders, what's his 2 other off pieces?
Chest guard of the
Dreambinder
retreat.
and double miss trinkets. Yeah, no, Ruggs is geared to the teeth. It's hard
No,
to
not in this. This is
If
a
he's-
Malagos
if-
chest.
So the Malagos chest is super, super close to the 232 chest. The only thing that puts the 232 chest above it is the amount of crit that you gain from the agi.
Ooh, and he has a 16 armor pen in that chest.
Shocking. Wait, he's
full
armor pen
armor
gemmed.
pen.
Yeah, he's armor pen gemmed.
Full armor pen.
I will say I like I have not gotten to do it yet, but I really like the idea of shred, and only because, and I wonder if you guys can relate. It's so frustrating. Sorry, I said shred, but it's so frustrating not be able to shred on that fight, because like my fingers are so used to the rotation of regular that like spamming mangle feels like 3rd grade. You know, like that's like what you do when you
only
first
spam mangle for like the first like 10-15 seconds, and
Yeah,
you're spamming swipe right
You
after.
get mangle up to
No,
get your durations going.
no, I
and
know,
then
I'm-
you're in swipe mode.
right, but like prior. Okay, I'm saying if you don't swipe, like if you're a non-swiper, you're doing
If you're
mangle, rake,
Yeah.
mangle, shred, and then mangle. That, it's like what you do if you've never played a feral before, and I hate it. And I that's what I'm saying. Like I want to do the
do
shred
when you're soloing stuff out in the world
Yeah.
as a cat.
Yeah, and I don't like
It
it.
sounds like something Table Slam would do.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude.
that's how he
Let
parses.
me just
Just
mangle real
story.
quick. It's like I mangle because I feel like it, bro. Not because it's better. Because I got feel. It was the right thing
Feels-
for me in that moment.
It's definitely not better.
When I hit a mangle when I'm not supposed to,
No, it's never better.
I'm mad about it. Like I was doing gift weaving last week, and you have to reapply mangle with a cat if you're doing it right, and I was like, this is stupid. Like hitting a mangle, what am I doing? But
just swap to bear and hit mangle.
no,
and
because
you're
I
gonna
was
be better off doing that.
specifically gift weaving. I didn't want to do any bear.
Yes,
any bear.
but you can still do gift.
I
weaving
know,
and
I know.
Reapply mangle and bear. It gives the same debuff. It actually saves your energy, so you can do more shreds or whatever.
No,
doing
it's
at
a
that
smart to
current
play
time.
for sure. I just
Bear mangle
refuse
does a
to.
little more damage too. Like if you
It
have
does a lot more damage because it scales better.
because if you only have to do it once a minute, and rage is a 1 minute cooldown. If you enrage every time you need a bear mangle,
Get
then
that
those mangles are
12%.
for sure going to do more damage than
Yeah.
cat mangle.
Yeah, for sure.
Is it? I feel
Yeah.
like it's actually more with the enrage than 12%.
I think it's. I mean, I'm pulling this
Oh,
from my head.
It's 15. So enrage while you have it active is 15%.
Oh,
right.
okay. No,
Yeah,
right,
so if you
12%, bro.
mangle, if you bear mangle with enrage up, it's for sure going to do more damage than a cat mangle.
Yeah.
It's always gonna, even if you don't have enrage up, a
Yeah.
bear mangle is gonna do more than a cat
Yeah,
mangle.
it's just not even close.
And that
That's-
actually-
that's another reason why you don't mangle in cat.
That actually brings back something someone said a lot earlier, and they said I think it might have been Exarch. They said the best rotation I've found is bear weaving and gift weaving. And though this is gift weaving with bear weaving, even though it's just mangle every minute or something, I do think that the true best players know when to do the right thing. Like
Yeah, you can do both.
Yeah.
It's definitely a good option to do both. If you're I do both on some fights. Like if I'm getting stupid high on threat and then like it's an untauntable boss, I will opt into gift weaving, and then when the tank gains more threat, I'll swap back to bear weaving. Like
Yeah.
I'll swap back and forth in one fight. There's no right way of doing everything.
for sure. Yeah, and I really want to try the Cologarn swipe strat. I've not done it yet. I'm gonna try the jumping thing too, because we had somebody doing something similar with a different class. I think it was a warrior, and he fell, and everyone made fun of him. It happened 2 weeks ago, and they're still making fun of him. I don't want to be that guy. I want to.
Make fun of your hunters that jump off the edge too, because if they fail their jump, then it's hilarious, because then they're dead DPS, and you're like, how's it feel? How's it feel to be beaten by a feral that didn't jump off the edge?
Oh, okay, yeah. So Aiden says, "Have you guys watched Beer to Go?" I recommend Beer to Go too. His videos are actually
that's another good one.
his videos are funny. Are
He
straight
likes math.
funny. He's a funny guy
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
I played with him back on Fairbanks when it was still alive and prosperous and everything. So I still talk to him a lot, and I do help occasionally with his videos. Like he'll ask me a couple questions here and there, because like I still am a good feral. I'm not the greatest feral, but like I really like his videos. Like,
Yeah.
He's a chill dude too. He's a good guy.
He's
And
a
his videos are
really chill
funny.
dude. He's very, very laid back too. If you actually get the chance to sit down and talk to him, that's a great opportunity.
Yeah, I'll have to. Actually, didn't even think about asking him. I'm gonna have to ask him on the podcast because I watch his videos. I mean, sometimes to learn stuff, but honestly, I just like his sense of humor. Like it's my sense of humor, and I really like. Good one. Like it's my favorite moment when I'm like, that was good. That was a good callback. Yeah, I like it. I don't know if you guys can relate, but yeah.
But he still remembers me from. Because I played with him, what was it, on the beta, I played with him a couple of times, and he's like, where's your feral? I'm like, oh, I'm just helping a bunch of other people. And actually, when the PTR came up for Ulduar, I actually found him again and played a little bit with him.
Oh, no, press that button. Sorry.
When's the PTR coming for
TOGC?
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess if I had to throw out a wild
That's a
guess,
poll. There's gonna be a poll next week, by the way.
It's gonna be 5 months. I'm gonna say 5 months.
You gotta,
5
no,
months
you
away?
can't say no. You have to pick a date on the calendar. You can't be vague. You have to say his exact date, like April 11th.
You can't. I don't think you can get that specific unless you have insider
No. This is
information.
bearbis. This is not
Okay.
you telling us the right answer. This is you guessing. You have to guess when you think it is.
No, I'm saying you can't make an accurate decision with
I
straight
know.
up. Like I will not make an accurate decision
May 9th.
based off of limited information that I know I have, and I do know a couple people at Blizzard, but they still won't freaking tell me.
May 9th.
I'll give an accurate one. Yeah.
No,
I'll give you a guaranteed
I
date.
don't think it's gonna be that soon. I do not think it's gonna be that soon.
January, February. We're in March, April.
I'm thinking early, like mid to late summer.
Here's the perfect date. April 20th. It's a Thursday. They love doing
420.
They love doing PTRs on Thursdays. That's the date right there.
They
Bearbis
do love
will not
doing
say a word.
PTRs on Thursday. I do agree with that, but I don't think that the PTR is going to be that soon. I still think it's going to be mid-summer to late.
So like July?
And I'm holding my ground on that.
Well, keep in mind, Diablo 4 is coming out June 6th, so they're probably going to want to offset.
So just
that does not matter. That does not matter. They have done it before. They will do it again. They have released stuff at the same time that other games have done stuff on their own platform.
Okay. Hold on. I just want everyone to understand this. I want everyone to understand this.
First Classic.
Ulduar has been out for a month and a half. Bearbis is saying that in 5 more months, the PTR is coming out. No!
For phase 3.
I will be so sick of soloing Leviathan by that point because honestly, what else
no
are you
one
doing?
wants to do that boss anymore.
Because nobody wants to do anything. You're like, I'll just do it on my own. It's cool, no big deal. Honestly, that's the reality.
252 gear set.
I think
so. It's either that they're gonna do that like that far out, or they're just gonna say, "Oh, we're releasing it. We don't need any PTR testing on it because it was always."
No, they will never say that because they have to cater to the speedrunners. They got to give them that sweet time.
They don't have to cater to the speedrunners.
They don't have to. They do. They don't. Okay, wait a minute.
No,
so
they don't.
let me ask you this. Did Blizzard devs log into the game with you and play raids with you guys last PTR? Because they did with the speedrunners. You guys don't remember that? Crix and Sarth got to hang out with the devs. That's not if that's not catering to the speedrunners, I don't know.
Dude, the devs just wanted to get carried, bro. That's what it was.
The devs wanted
we can't down this damn boss.
They wanted to get all of their big YouTubers in a group and say, yeah, we support these people, watch their content.
Yeah.
Because then that makes us more money. They don't care about speedrunning. And I'm telling you now, they don't care about the speedrunning. They care about their revenue.
Right, but the speedrunners are the ones that bring them the revenue. Like
because they're big YouTubers. That's the thing. If you cater to your streamers and bring them more people because you're just basically giving them free content, of course you're gonna make more money. But it doesn't.
Right.
TOGC is not going to
You're
matter that
pr-
much.
you're-
It was always meant to be an easy raid.
But you're proving my point. Like Blizzard wants.
They're not gonna. No, they're not
No,
gonna cater to
l-
speed.
Listen, but you just said Blizzard wants YouTubers to stream their content so that they make more money. The people that stream their content are the speedrunners. So Blizzard helps the speedrunners. Let me finish.
More people actually watching that.
A lot more. Are you kidding me? Like when the
No.
PTR comes out, it floods. Like you watch it literally go up because everyone wants to see what the PTR looks like from the speedrunners'
for
point
like
of view.
a day or two, if that.
But it builds the hype up. It is what the game is. Anyway, I don't want to argue. Agree to disagree. Agree to disagree.
No, keep going. Keep going. I
All
want
I'm-
to keep this going until Grif pulls his hair out.
All I'm saying
Yeah,
is
that's tough. There's a handful.
all that I'm saying is as far as release time goes, I don't think they're gonna wait. They might wait 6 months, but not 6 months from today. I think PTR is coming out in 3 or 4 months, which should be around May, and you're gonna see Ulduar in June, or not Ulduar, TOGC in June. Yeah, and I might be wrong, but I'm okay with making an uneducated guess because the consequences are nothing. There's no consequences.
Super low stakes.
Yeah,
That's the way I
super
like it.
low stakes.
And once Griffin is wrong, you all can spam him with your Warcraft logs because then he can answer all the questions.
Yeah, bring it on. I'll answer one or two.
How do I
Table.
parse on twin
One
valves?
or two. Do you realize how many I get every single day?
I don't pay attention. I've got you now. I don't. So table.
There's
Hold on.
There's a bunch of people.
Table.
Oh.
Let me ask you. When do you think it's coming out?
I think also summer. I don't know how soon in the summer though.
Oh, so you
'Cause,
do
like, you
think
figure-
it's going to be pushed out? Like they're not going to shorten Ulduar to let TOGC
so.
overlap? I don't think so either. Just because they want ICC to be the big fall opener. I don't think ICC is going to come out until like November, December.
It's kind of like a double-edged sword from Blizzard's perspective though, because if they don't give people enough time for Ulduar, they're going to be like, dude, come on, it was too soon. But if they give people too much time, they're going to get bored and stop playing. So it's like
you gotta find that sweet spot. Well, the cool thing is the content's ready. So as soon as they feel that moment where they start to see like their subs drop, they just like put it out really quick. Like flip
Is
the switch.
it ready though? Because you said that they need the PTR in order to, cater to the speedrunner.
Yeah.
Like, is it ready though?
I don't think you.
If they're catering to the speedrun, based
Yeah.
off of your argument, if they're going to
Yeah.
cater to the speedrun, they're going to buff the bosses at that point.
Yeah.
Because TOGC was stupid easy.
What are they doing right now? Like honestly, tell me. Like they're not fixing ferals, so they got to be doing something. So they better be in TOGC buffing them up. Buffing
They're
them up.
watching.
I don't think TOGC got a nerf, did it? Maybe the final boss did.
There was a Nubarak nerf because of the block issue, so they had to nerf him a little bit, but I think that was the only nerf the entire time.
Yeah. So even then, it's just putting out the PTR for hype.
It was only to make it so that heroic Nubarak was actually killable in a decent amount of time, but that's also based off of the talent points that they had back in the day.
Okay, hot take. Aiden says, I reckon we'll be in Kata pre-patch end of the year. I think we'll get ICC in autumn. I don't. You might be right, and I'll eat it. But honestly, I just don't see them rushing Kata because nobody knows how Kata is gonna go. Like,
if they rush Kata, they're gonna drop a lot of subs. I can tell you that right now.
Leader of the pack, put those 2 points of feral aggression for some bite. Yeah. I think a lot of people are dropping improved leader of the pack lately. I feel bad because it's such a great mana regen. But if you're not shifting often, it's not that big of a deal. Because XR is
if you're
mono.
gonna gift weave, you need 2 points in imp leader of the pack. If you're gift weaving, you need the regen.
If you're going to Resto Cat Weave, you need the regen.
Yeah, for sure.
If you're gonna gift weave, you need the regen. If you're
If
just bear
you're
weaving,
probably fine. Yeah,
you're
probably
fine.
just fine with 1 point or even none.
Except for on general Vezex, you can actually go if the fight's long enough, but it has to be like 10-15 minutes before you
Yeah.
actually go on that fight.
Usually
And
just
that's
like
with you not throwing any extra heals out or any battle reses. If you throw out a battle res, you're gonna go a lot quicker. If you throw any extra heals out, you're gonna go quicker.
I like 1 point in imp. Like, even whatever you're doing, 1 point is usually enough that it does what you need it to for the most part.
It does also depend on your comp. How, like, again, how many physical DPS you're running, how many
Yeah.
healers you're running. There are some fights we are solo healing. There are some fights we're already 2 healing, and there are a couple of fights that we just are thinking about dropping healers in general.
Okay, another hard shift to hardcore, and I got the name of it right this time.
hard
So
shift. I see what you did there.
Yeah. So if you guys don't know, oh, I didn't even see that feral shift. Okay, okay. So if you guys don't know, if you guys don't follow all of us, a lot of us have been doing hardcore. I know I have, Table has, Go has. I'm not sure if bearbis does.
I just started a hardcore, well, actually 2 hardcore characters the past week, so I'm right there with you guys.
Okay.
I've got 2 druids though.
Oh yeah, you
Nice.
sound like Go. You sound like Go. So over the weekend,
Only
we
2 though? No, that's
over
not
the
me.
weekend, the
That-
three of us, the three of us participated in a hardcore competition. I think it was called Road to
Race to Dead Mines.
Thank you, Race to Dead Mines, where we all failed miserably. Do you guys want to talk about
I wouldn't
that?
say
'Cause
miserably.
I
I
failed
was
miserably.
afterwards. But
I was
Yeah,
so
we were all 3 miserable afterwards.
I told Go, I'm so glad I died because I don't think I had my camera on, but I was honestly having the worst time. And I was trying to be, because I think I was streaming and I was trying to be like, oh yeah, whatever, it's cool, because they kept killing all of the NPCs, and I literally was ahead of both of you, and then couldn't turn in a quest for an hour, and just chilled out in Elwyn Forest. And I tried to be calm about it, but I was so frustrated. I don't think
they had griefers and Elwyn killing the quest
Yeah.
servers.
Yeah. And then they had
Back to that
people.
South Park episode. There
Yeah.
was actually a rogue
It
in
felt-
Elwyn Forest doing exactly what was going on in the South Park episode.
Yeah. And he was
Killing
named
NPCs,
Kargaz, right? It was
killing players.
It was Kargaz.
Yeah.
The guy who like kind of started the whole hardcore movement. His name is Cargos, but there's a
Cargos.
griefer who used he's like impersonating him to troll him. So there's like probably 4 or 5 griefer characters that have Cargos in their name somehow, literally just to troll the actual Cargos. None of them are actually Cargos. They're all griefers that are impersonating him for trolling.
Yeah, I don't know if they talked about doing a random server in the future so that people can't have characters prepped and ready to do that. I don't know, because even so, we had an NPC quest turn in that a level 60 hunter was camping, and not camping, like protecting and dropping flares on. But when you've got a 60 rogue that can run in, kill, and then just vanish, it doesn't really matter. Like, he killed him a couple times, but he just rezzed and did it again and just kept killing the same 10 NPCs. We couldn't turn in anything. It was so frustrating. How did you do though, Table? I'd love to hear how you did.
Well, I didn't die, but I was 250 XP away from level 14, which was the minimum level to be eligible for the draft. I was 250 XP away when the cutoff came around. I was like 3 kills away.
Yeah. I was watching you. You were so close, and I was like, "Come on!"
Well, honestly, what really did it was I woke up a little later than I wanted to, and I didn't start actually playing until about like 10 minutes late. So I was 10 minutes late starting.
Were you on a podcast too?
Yeah, I was on Bobby's podcast too. So like my focus was a little bit split, because I was like, I'm not going to be on a podcast and like not pay attention. So like I diverted some of my attention from leveling to make sure that I was like actually not being like a bad guest on the podcast. But what really did it was waking up late. Like I would have been fine to get to 14 if I had actually logged on in time. And what's funny is when I logged in, I was like, whatever, dude, it's just 10 minutes. Like, what kind of difference is that going to make?
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
That was
it. Was the reason why I didn't make it.
Yeah, you were so close too. I remember we were watching, Go and I were watching, I think we might have been on Voice together, and we were watching like the clock, and Go was like, I'm not going to make it. And I look at you, and you were like 2 bubbles away, and there was still like 10 minutes left. I'm like, he can get it. And then like the clock hit, and you just like, you went and like stood there and I was like, no man, no one's gonna know, go kill stuff. I was like yelling, and you were like sitting up on the hill, and someone, I think someone said go kill stuff, and you like ran around and you hit 14 really quick. If you guys don't know, you have to hit 14 because they were doing dead mines, and it's like and even 14, like they were saying they had a lot of 14s, and it's hard to do dead mines at level 14. They were hoping to rely on higher people, but because of the griefing, a lot of people weren't able to get. And then that one guy got caught cheating, maybe ?
Tommy Salami.
Oh, Tommy?
Yeah,
No, I
super
don't.
help.
Tommy was so that whole thing was blown totally out of proportion.
I saw the clip. It looks pretty. I mean, they must have clipped it just right because.
Well, so yes, technically it was like, oh yeah, mate, like if you want to just kill these, like, oh yeah, that's good. But this man got to 17 without help.
I know
already.
That
he
was
jokingly said, yeah, help me out, and then his buddy actually helped him to be funny, and neither of them thought that was going to be like a big enough deal because like there was no way the guy was going to hit 18 before the end of time at all. There's no way.
The thing is. That's the confusing part. The guy was already 3 levels past where he needed to be when he joked about that.
Pumping. He was playing a paladin. He was level 17 in 6 hours.
There's a rule that says you cannot ask for help. So then,
right.
If they
so a bunch of people
in
chat were like, "Oh, he said he asked for help. He asked for help." That people are just trolling, basically. Like,
if they allowed that, then at any point forward, when somebody came up with a similar issue, and they were like, "Yo, this guy asked for help."
Yeah, they had to set the precedent.
I think
Tommy did not cheat. I don't think Tommy cheated. I think they had to make an example out of him. I think that's what happened.
I don't necessarily think example, but like I don't think what he did was a big deal. Him saying that, but you're right. By him saying that, he put the people in charge in a very bad situation, and it was better that they just squash it, whatever the word is, and say, listen. Don't do that to us then. Don't put us in that situation where someone has a clip of you saying, yeah, go ahead and kill it. Let me tag him first and get him to 50%. Which that was the problem I had is like he went into detail on how exactly the guy is supposed to help him. And I was like, bro, shut up. And yeah, but like I agree, like what Go said. Once you open that door, then you've got this weird moment where you're like, and he was well known.
They're all pals. Like all the people who are putting it on, like they're all friends and stuff like that. So it's like if they didn't do something, then people were gonna like look at it funny. They're gonna be like, oh, he's getting special treatment because he's your friend or whatever. So like yeah, it sucks. But like, dude, Tommy is the speed leveler. Dude, Tommy is the speed
That's
leveler.
What was so like, crazy about it.
He is well known for doing things quickly, for leveling fast in a legit way. Like he has found a bunch of techniques to level faster in a legit way. He's the last person that I would think of to like look for ways to cheat. Like he specifically wants to do things the fastest in a legit way. Yeah. So he's literally actually the last person that I would ever. He's not even on the list of people that I would think of to cheat.
I think he had like 800 people watching him today. Like he was streaming on Twitch. That's like 800 people, man. Like huge dude. Like knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I think it's crazy that situation happened too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh my god. I don't know.
But yeah, dude, I knew like an hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours before the ending time that I was not going to make the cutoff.
You can know as soon as you hit 12 if you're not where you need to be at level 12, because 13 and 14 or 12 and 13 are an absolute grind at that point. Unless you're planning, the quest to do, and you were also at least when I was watching you earlier, you were also in what I would call like the hub where a lot of other people were killing. So you'd get to an area and everything would be dead. And you're like, well, I can just wait for respawns and you kind of like, that's what, like once those people like that were up ahead, got ahead, they also had a clear path to killing mobs and that's what's so important about those early 5 levels. You need to get ahead of the pack. Cause if not, like I was down in that cave doing that quest for like 40 minutes. And I was like, I can't get a spawn because like everyone's sitting on spawn points. And you're like, well, what are you gonna do? So I think that's definitely. But you guys were also in a faraway zone, so you had to factor in travel time. So
it ended up working out to our advantage though. Like the fact that we started so far away, like there was less competition for stuff because people were like, oh, I'm gonna either have to run through the wetlands or do the swim. Like I don't want to do that.
You weren't getting griefed either. Like I don't think there was griefing out where you
alive.
Yeah.
No.
I watched
and
I don't want to talk about it.
I did the swim. I went to Menethil and I swam down to Westfall, and I think a lot of other people that cut like half of that time did the whole route through wetlands. And I
Yeah,
think
I
I
did that.
saw a lot of people dying in wetlands.
Yeah, me
So like
too.
there was a bigger risk going through wetlands, and I've never practiced that. I've never gone that route before, so I took the safer route, but it took so long. It took at least 30 minutes. Where I think the wetlands takes like 15 or something like
Yeah.
that.
So
I-
I did the Rutlands run, and there were 2 people that got off the boat behind me, and they let me go in front so that if anyone was gonna die, it was gonna be me. And I was like, all right, guys, like,
Yeah. Oh my god, that's the worst. That's what I would do. I'd be like, let's follow. I would go stealth and just follow somebody and just be like, let him kill, let him kill. Oh yeah, you're a bear or you were a feral. You could have went stealth through that whole section.
no, it was.
Oh no,
way-
because you're too
way
low.
before level
Way
20.
too low.
Yeah,
I'm like,
no
what are you
cat- no cat
doing?
form.
What are you doing? So what's the next one? Because I think it's in March, right? It's this month.
Yeah, the World Tour.
No,
Hmm.
there's
It's
another road. There's another road to
There's,
whatever.
I
There's
think
a-
it's RFC.
Yeah, I
but-
think the next one's RFC, but like before that, there's the World Tour. Is
And-
Circuit 1 of the World Tours going on?
What is a world tour? Because I actually didn't
The
read
World
into
Tour
it.
is it's pre-made teams, and you register with a team, and you level. You have to. You're not allowed to profession swap. You have to stay with the same race class combo that you chose. You have to stay with the professions you chose, and you have a level cap of 22.5 for the first circuit. And what it is, it's a circuit of dungeons. There's 4 dungeons in the circuit, and the first circuit is Dead Mines, Wailing Caverns, Shadowfang Keep, and Black Fathom Deeps, and it's basically a speedrun circuit. So every team does like the clock starts, and then the first you're the fastest team to clear all 4 dungeons gets like the most
Oh.
amount of points or whatever, and then there's going to be 4 more circuits after that at like increasingly higher levels. And at the
Man.
very end of the entire world tour, the team that has accumulated the most points wins the entire thing.
So you not only do you have to one life it to get to the dungeon level, you then have to complete all 4 dungeons in a time competition. So you're trying to rush, but you can pick your comp ahead of time, which makes it really nice. I'm assuming you have to level together too, right?
Nope, it's solo leveling. It's specifically you're not
Oh.
allowed to level together.
Okay.
The only time you're allowed to group is for those dungeons.
That actually makes
with
it better.
your team.
That makes it better.
So one thing that was confusing for me about the rules was you could die in the dungeon though and still use that tune or no? Like was there some penalty when you die? Like how does
There
that...
is a penalty. There is a time penalty for every death. But you can have 6 people on a team. There's 5 like starters and 1 like alternate.
Oh.
And if somebody dies, you can bring in the alt.
And you get a time penalty on top of that, but that player's just gone for that, right? Like they have to re-level.
Yeah, so you can
Okay.
level alts, but the alts that you level, like you can level like your own like replacement tune if you want to.
Oh, hold on.
You went mute.
Yeah, you
Oh,
went.
sorry,
There you go.
I was starting up Wrath because I got raid tonight. If you die, you can re-level and whatever and still be in like the next circuit or whatever, but you can't complete the rest of the circuit with your team, I think.
Oh.
I'll have to look at the rules specifically, but like you can't run any dungeons. So like say you're out of circuit 1, say you lose a character, you don't have one ready, you're out of circuit 1. For circuit 2, as you're leveling your replacement character, you cannot run any of the dungeons from circuit 1 on the replacement character. Like it's one dungeon. Like normally in hardcore, it's 1 dungeon per character. In the world tour, it's 1 dungeon per player.
That makes sense.
So, or like
Got it.
your each player can only do every dungeon 1 time. Like even if it's a different character.
I think the thing about the All Stars that's more appealing is you get to pick your full 5, whereas the road you get, essentially picked. And even if, because like I don't know if you guys know, even if you hit the threshold of like 14 or whatever the level is going to be for each one, you still have to be chosen. And some classes are more
If there's an
desirable
uneven
than
amount
others.
of people, you might get left out.
Yeah. So like, let's say you're like, you know what? I think it'd be really fun to level a druid, and you're like, I'm gonna go balance, and you get to whatever level. I guess what would be the next one's RFC. So it'd be a horde.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be a balance horde. You'd be like, we don't really need a balance. If you want to go resto, and you're like, I don't really want to go resto, and so then you're just not picked. Whereas like in a 5-man comp, you can discuss this ahead of time and know that you'll be in that comp, and everyone is okay with you being the class that you've chosen. regardless of what you are. I think that's the big takeaway from it. But yeah,
when it's pre-planned, you can even do things like planning out professions and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Like for example, my guy on my World Tour character, I'm going skinning leatherworking, which is like not the normal choice that people are going, but our sixth is going to be either a hunter or a rogue. So the idea is to funnel the dungeon drops to the hunter or rogue, and me just craft my own gear and get it from quest rewards and stuff. And then also for the very last circuit, the last circuit is going to be level cap of 59.75, which means we're going to ding 60 at some point during the circuit. So I'm going to pre-farm the mats for the Devil Source set. And then you need 1 cured rugged hide for the Devil Source set, but you can't cure the hide unless you can refine deep rock salt. And to refine deep rock salt, you need a salt shaker.
but you can't
made by engineers.
But you can't change profession because, like, a lot of people,
Right.
Like, let's say
at
you're going to
60,
go.
You're allowed to trade. You're allowed to trade at 60 within your team, and we have 2 engineers on my team. So I'm going to have them make a salt shaker ahead of time, and when we all ding 60, they're going to trade me the salt shaker. I'm going to refine the salt, cure the hide, and then make my Devil Source set.
That's nuts. And I was just thinking about that because I was watching Guzu, and he did he leveled blacksmithing on his warrior to like low level just so we could make sharpening stones, and then deleted blacksmithing completely and picked up engineering. And he's like, this little sharpening stone on my weapons is a huge DPS increase for warriors. And it's something like that where, like, for one item he leveled, he went mining, leveled blacksmithing just to get this one item, which I think you get pretty low level, which is nuts. But
yeah, sharpening stones is normally how you get like your first 50 points in blacksmithing anyway.
Yeah.
If you're gonna go with that way.
So he just did that, dropped it, picked up engineering, started working on it. I think that's so cool how it's like a different way to look at like everything. Hardcore is just like, yeah, but I only need this one thing, and it'd be worth it to spend the extra silver. And yeah. Anyway, all right, you ready to go?
I've got
I know.
some bombshell news. Yeah,
I've set you up. Let's hear it.
Do you want me to link it to you?
Yeah, you could drop it in chat if you want.
You could put it up on the screen.
How bombshell is it? What are we talking?
This is like bombshell.
Okay,
I can't leak my source.
I know who your source is, but I appreciate
they
that.
They can leak themselves, but dude.
Whoa, not on the floor. Okay.
I don't know if this works. If I just I gotta like save it, and I'll do it. But 1 second. Save image. Bombshell 1.
Oh my gosh.
I could send the other one here in a second. Is that? No, that's not gonna work. That's sorry. That's not the bombshell. The podcast link. That's not the bombshell.
I haven't seen anything yet. Oops, all ferals. That's so funny. I'm so funny.
Bombshell today. Does that work?
I don't know, man. You're overthinking this. You're overthinking this.
Open file. Dude, I can't even do it. I'll share. Can I share my screen instead?
Yeah, do that. As long as you share it. Oh, I don't know what's gonna happen.
It's gonna break everything.
I will make it work. Don't worry.
Save image PNG. Here we go. Bombshell. This is building the hype, right?
Guys,
like you guys are so intrigued.
Go has some big
here.
news about something, and we don't know
about
anything.
About Ulduar.
Oh, are they nerfing it? They're nerfing it.
Yeah, that's what it is.
You couldn't just have said that.
Potential nerfs in Ulduar.
What is this you've sent me? This isn't even an image, bro.
It didn't even. I know. I'm failing, dude. I'm sorry.
Okay, so what do you have to show? Like, what is the thing you're trying to show?
It's the nerf notes. And I'm sorry. I can't
you have leaked patch notes.
Flame Leviathan HP reduced by 25%. I'm just gonna knock.
Yeah, go ahead. Say it.
Ward of Life HP reduced by 25%. Hodier's Fury will now wait an additional 3 seconds before activating. That's Flame Leviathan. We've got Ignis the Furnace Master, HP reduced by 25%. Razor Scale, Berserk Timer reverted to 10 minutes. XT, Tantrum duration reduced from 13 to 8 seconds. Health and damage reduced by 20%. Life Sparks no longer cast shock on nearby melee targets. Gravity Bomb damage reduced by 25%. Pull range reduced from 15 to 10 yards. Can I keep going?
Yeah, keep going.
I'm listening. Assembly of Iron, health and damage of all council members reduced by 20%. Steelbreaker will cast Fusion Punch less frequently. Rune Master Molheim's chance to cast an available rune has been increased. Overwhelming power duration increased from 25 to 40 seconds. Algalon the Observer. 1 hour timer has been removed.
That was the one I was wondering if they get rid of.
Health reduced by 40%. Black hole explosion damage reduced by 50%. Melee damage reduced. Attack speed increased.
That's too
Quantum
bad.
Strike will be used less frequently. Cologarn. Shockwave damage reduced by 25%. Both the right and left arm will now spawn 3 rubble upon death, down from 6.
Yeah, that's big.
Ariaya, Sanctum Sentry health reduced by 20%. Strength of the pack reduced from 50%. Additional damage to 20%. Hodir will now shatter the rare cache after 3 minutes.
Yeah, so every guild's gonna be able to do every hard mode now.
Every hard mode.
That's basically.
The thing is, some of these don't even like. Okay, I get nerfing. Like, okay, I get nerfing some bosses that are maybe challenging people a little bit, but like Ignis, Razor Claw, or whatever his name is, even like the XT one, I guess, because it sounds more like a softening of the. It's not getting rid of it. It's just more softening the abilities. But like who was struggling? Okay, we wiped out REI on that one, Pug. But like
these are also like the original nerfs.
Is that what they're doing? They're not.
Yeah.
They're just like, we're going back. They're not like creating their new. They're just going to.
The rumor at first was that they were not planning on doing the nerfs because they thought that the item level increase was going to be enough to help people clear the hard modes without having to nerf them. But I guess they changed their mind.
They changed their mind because of how bad some of the player base is.
I mean, the player base has always been bad. I'm shocked that they're not going more with like a softer brush. Like, hey, we have an 80%. Here's an 80% with this boss has an 80% clear rate. Maybe we leave it. But like the Algalon, removing the 1 hour, I think is actually people are going to be really happy about. But I kind of like the 1 hour.
I need to see a link of this. Like I actually.
I'll get it to you. Yeah. After I'm like less stressed, but let me keep knocking these out here. We got.
He couldn't take a picture.
The Hodir 3. I can screen
capture it and post it.
I'll screen capture. It's gonna be so bad.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
If it's readable.
Nipping.
Did you do them? Oh, Freya. What'd they do with Freya?
Freya. Hold on.
Somebody wants their staff.
I have to get this out.
Somebody really wants their staff.
I don't have a problem.
There is a feral on the dev team.
I don't have.
Apparently.
I don't have a fair. I don't have a. But yeah, I don't care. I'm okay with them being nerfed. I wish they wouldn't touch the hard modes. Am I the only?
So here's the thing with all the nerfs and everything. Like just to give a screen cap on it. With all of the health nerfs, that's a DPS gain. It's overall, it's going to be a DPS gain.
Yeah, I feel like touching the regulars. Like 100%. The hard modes, literally titled hard modes. Keep them hard.
All right, Hodir, the 3 minutes instead of 2. We got biting cold application time doubled. Flash freeze health reduced by 50%. So it takes way longer to get the stacks. You don't need to move as much, and you can break out the NPCs
with a starfall.
Thorum lightning charge will be cast less frequently. Frostbolt volley will be cast less frequently. Thorum can no longer be parry hasted. I didn't even know that was the thing. I haven't heard parry hasted in a long time.
So they were supposed to have gotten rid of. No, it's not gone. It's definitely not gone. You can still parry haste bosses. It's supposed to be gone as of Wrath release, but it's still there. And I can guarantee it for a lot of bosses that you don't want to parry haste a boss.
All right, here's the huge Freya nerfs. All enemies in the Freya encounter have had their HP and damage reduced significantly. The damage or the detonating lasher explosion damage reduced by 75%.
So you can stand in
you're
it.
Not even
kicking back anymore.
Knock him out.
You're gonna desack it and just eat it. Yeah, you'll desack the whole thing and just cleave.
Ground Tremor no longer locks spell casting. Just keep on
Oh.
casting. Like
No, hold on.
Healers?
Hold on. Do you have to still stand under a mushroom, or is that gone too? Because we might as well just get rid of all the mechanics at this point.
It looks like you still have to stand on the
doesn't
mushroom.
yeah, it doesn't say that. The only other change for Freya was time between waves increased significantly, which that could kind of suck. If you're having to sit there and just wait for the ads to
But-
spawn.
So with the reduced HP, from the ads, like they're gonna die a lot faster. But if you get good RNG, it's almost like giving Freya a huge DPS, like damage nerf, because there are people that have been doing the burn strat on Freya already.
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
10 man, it's really easy to do, but 25 man, it's a lot harder. You need to have like specific amount of DPS. But if, like, say you get the conservator third, like you're gonna be able to just ignore the conservator and just focus the boss.
There, I put it up on the screen, guys, too, so people can screen cap it if they want to and blame me for it being wrong. I don't care.
Just blame me. I'm the one that decided
Yeah.
to speak on it.
This, yeah, but the thing is, this
I'm
all
gonna
sounds
blame you if
legit.
this doesn't come out.
This all sounds legit though, like what they would do. I'm really shocked. Man, 75% on the.
All right, I've got the Mimiron here. I'm gonna link. I'm gonna screen grab the other ones. This one should be a little cleaner.
Which one?
It's got the
There's more
last
bosses.
bosses. Yeah.
Oh,
There's
So
still like
there's the next one, but back to the other one. We've got Mimiron, health and damage reduced by 25%. Fire will now take twice the time to spread to its closest target. That's huge right there. Assault bot damage reduced by 75%. I got
Isn't-
one shot by the assault bot.
Wait,
this
Honestly,
wait,
the
wait, wait.
fire one could not be huge. The fire one could be worse because sometimes you can get the fire capped out between phases, and if it's doing it slower, then you might
never
it might
cap
not be
it
capped
out.
between phases.
Mm.
Well, the other thing is,
Maybe.
isn't it
Yeah,
already pretty
that's what I
slow? Like, I feel like you can really just
Kind
like
of.
chill, like, oh, and then move. It's not like go. I feel like it being even slower is gonna frustrate the hell out of whoever's got to do it. Because you just got to stand
don't-
there.
I don't know what heat wave is. Is that when 3 new
heat
ones
wave
spawn?
is phase 2. So phase 2, when he casts a periodic like fire aura that comes from it, that's heat wave.
Okay. Well, that will be cast less frequently. The proximity mines now take double the time to activate, half the time to decay. Quantity also reduced, so less mines. And you
Less
can-
mines, they explode faster, and they also take longer to actually blow up when you run over them.
So like,
Essentially, that's
so
exactly
melee can
what it
ignore the mines because that's
Pretty
not.
much. There's gonna be about half the mines than there is now.
Well,
is what I
druids
remember.
druids can almost already eat a mine because of their AOE reduction. So I
You
wonder.
can eat 2.
So that's
You
what I
can eat
mean,
2
though.
with Barkskin.
So with Barkskin, I agree, but like, so then you can literally just ignore them. Like, oh, they're just extra AOE damage. That's interesting. All right, keep going. We're on General Vesix.
General Vezex. This one's kind of like a good and bad one. Shadow Crash will be cast less frequently, but the energy field duration is doubled. So it's like we'll have more uptime, but that means we're gonna, as casters, be able to get the boss down to like 5%, and then still have to wait for hard mode to activate.
I bet you
I
guys
mean,
go.
We're already waiting for 2 minutes before
Yeah.
hard mode even
Yeah.
activates.
So it's gonna be even worse now. You're gonna be waiting for like 3 minutes and just trying to burn off the damage from the marks, like from the healing from that.
I
And then
bet.
the
Just
other
spread out after that.
Oh, go ahead.
The other change for Vezex, Serenite Vapors will no longer cause damage when using them to restore. So it makes the easy mode of Vezex a lot easier.
So hold on.
'Cause
I want to
usually-
talk about Shadow Crash. Do you
Mhm.
think this is going to change the two group strat? Like, I think you're going to go to one group because it's so less frequent that you don't want to not have it for
probably.
So like
yeah.
you're going to
You
wait for it to
can-
crash and then just jump on it and then everyone runs, because there's like, if they're going slower, that means if you get the bad RNG, which I'm sure you've experienced this, sometimes a caster
Oh,
won't
yeah.
get one for like 40 seconds. You don't want that. But then again, the fight is so short, like you almost don't need it.
Long? You mean it's long?
Well, I mean, like the
It's at
amount of
least
time
5-minute fight.
the amount of time it takes you to get him down to 5% is going to become so short that you're going to be standing around even longer, is what I mean.
Well, yeah,
hey,
true.
Hey guys,
Okay.
I hate you this. I got a dip though. I got raid.
Oh, no
you're
problem.
good.
Yeah, we're wrapping up pretty soon anyway. Thanks, Table.
Thanks for chilling.
Check out
my man.
Table's
Always a pleasure.
YouTube. I'll link it in there somewhere.
Always a pleasure. Thanks for having me on again.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's only the 10th time out of 17 shows.
Right,
So
jeez.
thanks, dude.
He's like our third
All right,
host.
see you later, guys.
Take care, man.
Later.
There we go.
Now I
Sorry.
gotta fix it again.
No, I
Yeah,
gotta.
all the screens gonna be messed up.
I think I got this.
While you're doing that, I'll keep during these off. There's more for Vezix.
Boom.
I looked at it wrong. So Searing Flames will be cast less frequently. I don't even know what Searing Flames is.
Hey, so it's the interrupted ability that he casts every like 5 to 6 seconds. With the less frequency, you can swap it to 2 people.
Okay, that perfect. The Animus Profound Darkness application time doubled. So yeah, that's makes the Animus phase way easier. And then also the Animus HP has been reduced by 25%. So once you get to the hard mode, it's just going to be way easier.
Yeah.
And then we've got Yogg. Loads of changes for Yogg, potentially. Yogg, Guardian of Yogg-Saron HP and damage reduced by 25%. I linked that. Yeah, you got it up there. Clouds roaming the room now move significantly slower. Constrictor tentacles have been removed. Corruptor tentacles now only have access to 2 schools of magic. Crusher tentacle HP and damage reduced by 25%. I know those things one-shot me. Even with a 25% reduction, I feel like
they'll still
one-shot.
one-shot, but the HP nerf is huge. As
HP
far as
is huge.
corruptors go, I remember them taking out the curse of doom, so it'll just be a magic and poison, and I think the majority of healers can take care of both of those.
Yeah.
So hold on.
Okay.
Did you get the? Sorry, which one are you at? Because I just read the
I'm
Brain of
at
Yogg.
the Brain Link.
Okay, wait.
I'm at the
Wait.
Brain
Okay.
Link.
Okay. I'll wait. Sorry.
Okay. Brain Link now only persists until the maximum distance to remove the sanity decay has been met. So that means like you stack with your Brain Link and it goes off instead of having to wait.
Yeah.
Perfect. I like that one.
So it's like 10 yards. You have to get to within 10 yards, and then you don't have it anymore.
Because having to, like, when a caster's with a melee and you're sitting there for 15, 20 seconds, like, just stood on top of each other, nobody knows what to do. That
You run with the
felt
melee,
pretty bad.
obviously.
Oh, no. The melee's
Yeah.
sitting there while I'm casting on the crusher.
Depending on where their portal position is, we have them opt in. Because, like, we have the amount of DPS in my group specifically just to kill the tentacles, so we're not worried about it. We have the range go with the melee. So that way we get more time in the brain room to shut down everything, and you get more time to actually do the amount of DPS you want to do.
Yeah, that's good. Malady of the Mind jump distance has been reduced. I don't know about you guys, but Malady got me so heated last night. Every week, but especially last night. So, like, Pallies and mages can ice block and bubble themselves, and then it instantly pops the Malady to jump to another target. So yeah, they get
that's
out of it.
troll.
They get out of it when they use their cooldown.
Yeah, but
then
they're
it pops to somebody else, and
right,
then it's reducing their sanity.
Well, not only that, but it's
bumped to them.
Literally the point of the malady is when they get it, everyone can run away. But what they're doing is they're actually forcing it way too fast so nobody can get away.
Instead of waiting for it to be clear and maybe using it like a second early, like to get out, they're just like instantly popping it. They're like, "No, dude, I'm feared. I'm
too important. I'm too important for this."
It's these damn pugs, damn pug mages and freaking paladins.
I want to read the next one. The next one's the biggest one. I want go ahead, read it.
Go.
No, read it.
Oh, you want me to?
Yeah.
Brain of Yogg. Brain of Yogg-Saron's health has been reduced by
50%. That means everybody is one phasing it. Like we can almost one phase it in 10 man with like 3 melee.
Oh yeah. You can one phase 10 man, 25 man, 2 phase.
You can now. You can now. Yeah.
Oh
I mean,
my
when this
God.
goes live, if this goes live, let's big caveat, guys. Big
If,
asterisk.
if and when. This could be 2 months away. This could be a never. Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
Immortal Guardians will now spawn less frequently. So that's like phase 3 or whatever. Like after
Yep.
you burn the brain, the
Oh, yeah.
mobs that they spawn less frequently. And then it's really important for Yogg-Saron in particular.
Yeah.
Immortal Guardians' health and damage reduced by 25%.
Lunatic gaze will he has less frequently.
So the health nerf on the Mortal Guardians is still huge, but the damage reduction can still one-shot tanks. That's it's more of when they get lower, below 50%, that really shines as far as the damage reduction goes, but it can still one-shot a tank if they are too high.
And then the Lunatic Gaze will be cast less frequently. So that's when all the casters, I guess melee too, have to turn away from the from Yogg. That's going to be less frequent, which is
Yep.
Everyone
nice.
has to look away. Everyone, even the melee, which is really annoying as a melee. As a caster with Starfall, you're probably not that upset about it.
It will Starfall every minute. The gaze is every 10 seconds.
Now that it's slow, it's not happening as frequently. Maybe Starfall every time it does it.
Yeah,
I think with this nerf, it goes to a 20-second CD, or a 25-second CD if I remember correctly. So it almost doubles.
These are some crazy nerfs, man.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
If they're true,
Big
then every guild will be able to get everything down, including Yogg-Saron, which means that everyone's going to be able to get their mounts, and then everybody's going to whine about it. And if these nerfs come through, then we're getting TOGC sooner.
Okay, hold on. Okay, hot take. This is going to benefit ferals because the fights are going to be even shorter, and this is going to up our DPS. So
it's also going to benefit every other class too.
Arcane Mage is back.
I mean, Arcane Mage is still really pumped, but still.
Yeah. But they're going to overtake Fire. Fire needs a little longer fight.
Yeah, the longer fights benefit Fire.
This is the buff we've been waiting for, guys. Ferals finally got a buff. This is it.
This is not... Okay, not the hot take, but this is the real hot take. This is not the buff that ferals want. No. This is not the buff that ferals want. I'm going to say it again. This is not the buff that ferals want.
I don't know,
the
man.
The buff that ferals want, we're probably not going to get. And you've done multiple videos on it. I'm just saying this now. It would be the best buff if they just, listen to one YouTuber who just happened to do a couple of videos on it in the past couple of weeks. But
if they just increased Omen proc, I'd be happy. Like just up it just a little, just whatever. Oh, wait, well, only 30% of guilds have killed Ulduar and Iron Council, and even less have killed Mim and Big A. Is that Big Al? Oh, Algalon. I'm like Al. Big AI. That's actually nuts that only 30% have downed Ulduar. Wait, these gotta be hard modes though, right? Because like regular Ulduar is not hard.
These are hard modes. Ulduar has it's just a DPS check. Like you still 100%. Have to. Well, you still have to do like
it's a mechanic DPS check.
Yeah,
right. But there are some guilds that are still doing over 4-minute kills on Ulduar. Iron Council is pretty big. It's still going to be a hard mode to chase after. Medium mode will be a lot easier for guilds.
I think it'll be easier on healers.
Get the keys still.
It'll be easier on healers. Yeah.
Mimiron, you'll like even the guilds that still haven't killed Mimiron, they still will opt in to run the 6 healers or even the 7 healers that they have been, and it'll make it a lot easier for them. It'll most definitely probably secure the kill for them, but it's not going to be like long term they're going to start dropping healers on that fight. It's going to be they're going to continue to run that amount of healers because that's what works for them. That's a casual guild mindset. That's just what a lot of the casual guilds are going to do. Algalon will still be a mechanics check. Like
but
there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
No, there is a but, and that is you can now dedicate a whole day to Algalon.
Oh yeah, you can.
But if you're still having problems with the other hard modes, you're gonna want to get the gear from the other hard modes. before you even try and go into Algalon.
Yeah, but
And there
like,
are some guilds that are taking the full 2 days that they're raiding to kill everything else.
but like even Go, they did 2 days of hard modes, and then they saved a third day. I think they did a third day for Algalon, or they agreed to hop on for an hour.
Our first one, yeah, like the first time we got to Algalon last week, or was it 2 weeks ago at this point? I don't remember. Lockout wise, whatever it was. We had like we raid Tuesday, Thursday. We had all the hard modes down after Tuesday, Thursday, and then we had to schedule a third night just for the 1 hour of Algalon. And we went in on Monday for the 1 hour, and we only had like 22 or 23 people. And it felt kind of bad. And then this previous week, we downed all the hard modes on Tuesday. We had Algalon on Thursday, but we only had, again, like 22, 23 main raiders. We might have had like 1 or 2 from the bench, and we even had to pug 1 spot for it. So it was just like, it was weird. We haven't had a full shot at Algalon yet. But if we had all Thursday just for Algalon, like, I'm sure we could get it down. But if we only have an hour, we still might not get it this week, tomorrow.
Yeah, I will tell you, hold on, I'm sorry, I might have clicked away from you guys for a sec. Okay, so I will tell you guys, I'm okay. I really want to, okay, I'm okay with nerfs. I am one of those people that really wants to do it on hard, like on the hardest version. So as long as I get the chance to do Algalon 25 current, I'm okay. But if I'm not allowed to down Algalon currently, I'm going to be very disappointed. Not in Blizzard, but mostly in myself, because I did miss those first couple of weeks of raid, but like still, like, it's going to hurt me.
It's going to really...
Exactly, Bob. Exactly,
I agree with what exactly Bob said. Like, in a month or 6 weeks, like, it's fine. Like, at that point, because then it gives us the chance of getting all those hard modes down that we want. Granted, I have them all, so I'm not worried about it.
See,
the only thing is that it brings it back to the level of Lady Vash and Kael'thas for TBC. Like that, those were hard fights. If your guild got them before the nerf, you were considered like a harder core of a team. And if you got them pre-nerf at this point, like that's still gonna look great, but like everybody's gonna be able to do it, so it doesn't really matter at that point.
I 100% agree, because I still, when I talk about stuff, I always am like, yeah, we did Lady V pre-nerf, and it's worth bragging about, because we've all done Lady V now in regular version, and it's hard. It is not an easy fight, and I feel like Algalon's going to be or even Mimiron, I would argue, probably is the second hardest for a lot of people to clear. I mean, I don't know where it falls. But I still think like you want to be able to say, yeah, we downed Algalon 25-man hard mode, and it's going to be in every single guild advertisement. We did original Algalon, not this garbage they got now. Original.
Yeah, pre-nerf.
But at the same time, yeah, but I get it, because if Lady V is any indication, comparing the regular to the nerf, it's a joke. Lady V now is a joke. Like, not like to dismiss, like, oh, hey, I struggle with Lady V. That's fine. But if you down Lady V first and then got to experience it, it is night and day. And I feel like Algalon might end up being the same thing, where you're like, yeah, so what? You had 5 hours to do it. We did it in under an hour. Uphill both ways.
I mean, I did it under 30 minutes, but that's besides the point.
Exactly. But that's bearbis, you're making my point. Like, you bragging about it is the point. Like, you want to brag about something like that, and it's gonna suck if I don't get to. It's pretty much
then we come back to let's come back to the whole Algalon thing. Casual guilds will still not be able to kill Algalon. Casual guilds will still not be able to do Mimiron easily. They will still be struggling on all these other hard modes. It's catering to those more casual guilds, yes, for sure. But the issue is that if they can't do the mechanics, then they can't do the fight. And that was the same thing for Lady Vash back in the day. It was the same thing for Kael'thas back in the day. You still had pugs post-nerf that were wiping on it because they didn't want to do mechanics. They just weren't listening to the calls. The mechanics will still kill people. The mechanics will still make or break the raid.
I agree with what Raindor said in chat. It's like a month-ish before the next phase comes out, drop the nerfs. So if we're still 4 or 5 months away, drop it 3 months out from now. Like still have the hard modes and then nerf it then. Because like if you're nerfing 10 man too, like it's not just 25 man that's getting nerfed. I imagine it's going to be both. So like making 10 man easier makes 25 man way easier with the nerfs.
I agree.
I mean, 10 man will be like very much easier to obtain because like even
You're
a
getting
lot of
2,
the
4,
casual
5 eye level from
Well,
10
yeah.
man. Yeah. And
And
then
there's a lot of casual guilds that are killing
Mhm.
stuff on 10 man. They might not be killing Algalon. There's some of them that may, but like if you point all those nerfs into it, a lot more 245 gear becomes available.
yeah. And
A
then that's
lot
like
more.
a double nerf for 25.
Yeah.
I do want to say I am all for making the content available to guilds that struggle. And you're right, like even with the nerfs, they might still struggle, but maybe 30% can now clear. I'm okay with that. And I have nothing against those guilds. I have a personal frustration with not being able to down it before nerfs. It's not like I get it. Blizzard wants to, but I think what Blazing Bob said and what Reynard said is Raindor said is it's still too soon. 6 weeks from now, or even a month from now. Okay, that's enough time that people that are so close can get it. But if they flip this switch tomorrow or next week or something like that, people are going to be upset.
Here's another take. Yeah. It's up to Blizzard to announce it. If they announce it the Monday before the reset that hey guys, tomorrow, guess what? All these nerfs are coming in. That's gonna feel really bad.
If
they
did that for Lady Vashing and
did they really?
You cannot say they
really
won't do that. They did it.
It sucked. Like they need to do it like 3 weeks. I feel like is a good time. Like at least 2 weeks is still kind of like I don't know. But like they got to give us time to like know that it's coming.
The main reason why they didn't give anybody time is because of the fact like you give that, then people are just gonna stop raiding for those few weeks because they're like, oh, if it's like so close now, we're gonna get it in 3 weeks. I'm coming back later. Like that was a major concern with a bunch of people that I've talked to. Like if they pre-announce a bunch of nerfs, then what's gonna happen? Like, do we start losing player base for those first few weeks before the nerf?
Or does it get better because they're like, yo, let's try to get this on the hard mode before it gets nerfed? It's that's a tough call, yeah.
I don't think that people will because we live in a society nowadays where people just kind of want to be handed things. I'm sorry to say it. They want to be handed things.
I think we live in a society where some people do want to be handed things. I think I don't. Like I'm openly saying no.
There are enough
and
people.
I doubt I'm alone. I bet there's a lot of people, and especially imagine, because I can relate to this scenario. Imagine you're in a guild that just isn't able to, like, it's not you. You're able to do your mechanics. You're able to understand what's going on. There's just like 1 or 2 people that just like kill every week, and you're so excited to get this hard mode down, and now you're like they're nerfing it so that my guild can down this, not so I can account, like not for me. For these other people, I am well, and it puts like not pressure, but like kind of like a negative relationship between you and your guild, because you're like, look what we had to do,
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, that's me. I know there are people that are like, bring it on. I'm struggling, but I could see a lot of people that aren't.
I can say that if you do a poll for it, if you have a large enough pool for that poll. That's a tongue twister upon itself, but if you have a large enough pool, you'll probably get the majority of people saying they want the easier content. Like they still want the mechanics to be hard, but they want the easier content.
I see. I'm with Bob. I'm right with you, man. I'm still missing at least 1 hard mode. I might be missing 2. I'm trying to think if we did Yogg-Saron yet.
Technically, I'm still missing 1 real hard mode, and that's Yogg-Saron. But I think we did
Yogg 1 this week, and I was because they were saying something about wanting to just get Algalon, get ready for Algalon. So I think we did Yogg 1. But that's the point. Like now there might be a little bit of fire under our butts to get it going, but also I'm looking forward to that. And if they nerf it, it's going to take that excitement away. I'm okay with struggling for as long as it takes, and I can't believe people don't want that struggle. Like, it is a game that's supposed to challenge you. This is the closest thing to a challenge we've had since Nax 40.
Yeah,
Lady
Nax
Vash,
40.
or maybe Lady Vash,
Lady Vash,
Kel'Thas. But
since
Okay.
SSCTK.
but they never nerfed Nax. Did they nerf Nax 40?
No.
I don't. Yeah.
Well, they did. They did
Did
it
they?
for a couple bosses, but not all of them.
Not like they did
it
Lady
for a couple
V.
bosses.
Yeah, so
Not
I'm
like
just
they did Lady V.
I just don't want them to do this too early for my own personal gain. But I also I could see a lot of people going like, okay, we're never gonna get this like this, which sucks. Because like I also want to kind of harp back. I did some pugging while I was in between raids, or in between guilds, I should say. And there are a lot of people struggling with some basic mechanics. And like I think bearbis mentioned this earlier, even if you nerf the health of the bosses, these people are still going to just get these bosses down by the skin of their teeth because they made it, not because they did the mechanics right, but because the boss was low enough health that they were able to down it with 18 people alive and stuff like that. Like,
You'll be able to take more carries into your raids.
yeah,
Guilds will be able to sell gear because of how easily it's and plentiful it becomes.
GDKPs go up. Yeah.
GDKP prices go up because
No, not prices. The popularity.
People.
There used to be when
So my server, there are 3 to 4 every hour past 4 o'clock.
What's your server?
White main.
White main. Okay.
mine,
Yeah,
not
it's
as much. There's
It's a
3 guilds that run it.
99.4 horde main guild.
3. I don't know how to do that right.
We've got a couple.
There's 3 guilds that run it, and because the ones that aren't the 3 guilds, they never finish. They don't do hard modes. They don't. Like if you're gonna run a GDKP, you want to do the hard modes, and there's only a few guilds that run the hard modes. Now, when these nerfs hit, you're gonna see everyone running hard modes, like every GDKP, which is good.
It's gonna be sick.
In ways,
Yeah.
but like
I'm looking forward to that because
that-
our GDKP, we've only got Flame Leviathan, XT, we did Thorum, and we did Vezex, and that was only like this week, and we did like 3 of those 4 last week. Before then, all we were able to do as a GDKP was normal modes.
yeah.
So like now we're gonna be able to get more 252 loot. We're gonna get more like gold flying in the pot from all the extra loot. I'm excited for the GDKP now.
Yeah, but that's it.
Yeah.
Because you've already downed you've done every hard mode, right?
Yeah, in the guild, yeah. But GDKP,
Yes, you
It's
don't care. You don't understand. You don't understand with us, like me and Bob out here trying to struggle to get a couple more hard modes.
I still care, okay? I still care. Don't take it as I don't care.
You got
because I
one
will
hard
still
mode.
brag. I will still brag about my Nax Saffron top 3 healer for my entire raid pre-nerf as feral spec. Like I will still brag about
That's
that
weird.
to this day.
That's weird.
I was number 3 in healing
What
as
a
a
niche
feral
situation.
and healing. Like I didn't even swap specs. I said, "No, what? I'm not swapping specs this week. I'm just gonna run it as feral so I can go straight into KT without having to respec again."
That's impressive though.
That's a niche thing, and I
Yeah.
still got Vash and KT down pre-nerf. I still got like everything else down pre-nerf. So like I could still brag about that type of stuff.
I'm trying to think.
That's what I like.
I'm trying to think how to word the poll question, because Raindar says, I'm not sure that
I
the
like that
classic
one,
player
too.
base wants to be challenged like you were saying. Most people who want challenging content play other games which have hard bosses. So
Or they play hardcore.
yeah, hardcore is hardcore, but I think
No, they kind of still play hardcore.
there's gotta be. I wonder who could put maybe like Sarth, because like okay, here's the problem with the polling for either any of us actually. We have a very specific player base. I have ferals. You have boomies. bearbis has more ferals. you need someone. Even Scotty J might be a good example, but he's Druid heavy because he started out playing Druid content. You need someone that can just, but then Sartha's heavy DK and Hunter and Rogue stuff. Like mainly, he actually started Rogue.
Just have them both. Just have them all.
Yeah,
Because you've got like if you just go to any one of those, you can even go to Rugs, and you can even do like any of the major streamers. Because like I would say Jordy's a really good one to do that.
yeah.
Like really good because he has a lot of different player base. He's not just
He plays everything.
healer
Yeah.
course. He's done everything.
Well,
So like he would be a good option for doing the poll, but it's kind
Yeah.
of like, does he want to do it?
I don't even know how I'd ask, because I feel like if you ask anybody, just like to their face, do you prefer a challenging game or a game that just throws stuff at you? They're like, oh, I like a challenge, but like, what's the reality? You know, like.
And everybody
If
has
you-
a different line of what challenge
Yeah.
means.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
and-
Like, I wouldn't know how to phrase that to get an honest answer out of people.
Yeah.
So I like the challenge. So you give them like different options too. Like you can't just do 2 options on that type of a poll, because if you do just 2 options, you're gonna get a very, very skewed ratio of what actually people are
Right.
thinking. Because
I agree. I don't know
you
how to
have
phrase that.
Provide like 4 to 5 options.
I wouldn't even
I
know
like
what to
how
say.
the hard modes are. I like how the hard modes are. It definitely makes it more worthwhile when getting that piece of loot. Or yes, I like the challenge of the mechanics, but I don't like the time consuming of the challenge. So that's where like, yes, doing the nerfs would be a good idea. It's like, no, I just want easy content. I just like playing the game. I like playing with other people. And then like, no, I don't really care.
Yeah, I definitely think I need to kind of come up with like a kind of like a scale. But I think it'd be an interesting question to see what people, because I guess this is one of those places, like I try to empathize, but it's really hard to like imagine like, oh man, just give me, like I even play, when I play like Fortnite or not Fortnite. Well, I guess I play Fortnite, but like, I mean, sometimes, but like I play like PUBG or anything. And I know these people have like straight up bought all the skins and stuff. And I'm like, is that rewarding to you that you just bought the stuff? Like, I mean, if you earned it, cool. But like, you just bought that. That's not, but yeah, people are like, yeah, look what I got. And you're like, I get it. I get it.
I can play as Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly. Which is cool. But is that the thrill of the game for you? I don't know. I don't know.
Does that upgrade your gun's DPS? Oh, it doesn't? Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I don't care.
Yeah, right. Does it make me hit harder?
Yeah,
Let me
do
turn
you
this
shoot
up.
faster because you're Spider-Man? No? Okay. I'm not buying that.
Same. What is this? Sorry. Okay. Anything. Sorry. Anyway, guys, do we have anything else to talk about? We actually talked about a ton tonight,
Yeah,
mostly feral based.
I took us over an hour there with that bombshell.
I know. I was like, yeah, let's wrap it up. And you're like, but wait, there's more.
Hey,
Oh wait, there's more.
that came in, and I was like, bro,
No, I'm glad we did.
I would love to talk about that.
Yeah.
Because you've got a couple of big brains here.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm really glad we got to talk. If you guys don't know who bearbis is, he streams on Twitch at /darkcavemenarak. I will post a link somewhere. If you guys don't know who Go is, he is a boomy. Check them out. We do this podcast every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We take turns hosting, so make sure you subscribe to Go so you don't miss out. We don't normally do like a heavy feral focus, but I thought it'd be really fun to just go feral crazy. And it worked out really well, I think. I think we talked a lot of cool stuff that if you don't give it that focus, you don't get to touch on. So yeah. Thanks for coming, bearbis. Thanks for coming, Table, even though you had to go. Anything else, Go? You want to wrap it up?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to have a boomy guest on next week. I'll go ahead and leak. Maybe next week it might be crap. His name is Last Cares. He's the Wowhead Boomkin writer. I'm gonna try to get him on. There's some stuff to talk about with like boomy boss fight tips and stuff. Like there's a lot of different things going on in the Balanced Druid Discord, like the official Discord. I haven't been keeping up with it, but he has. Like he's always in there. So hopefully he can come on next week and we can dive deep into boomy stuff instead of all this feral nonsense that we talked about tonight.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate your support.
Only nonsense because
Yeah.
don't understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I can't.
How much we have to do to min max our class?
I can't flower shift.
Yeah,
I
go ahead,
can't
Rug. Or go ahead,
can't
Bob.
snake weave.
Bob, you're
Want me to
welcome.
ask
You're welcome to
Rugs for
ask
you?
Rugs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Let me know. And I'm trying to think if there's any other big names out there that I would love to have on.
I named a bunch
I mean,
of them. So
Bob.
like Sarth, freaking Jordy, or even Blaze and Bob was talking about Fusion. Jordy's in Fusion.
Oh,
Yeah.
on here though.
Chris, no, for asking them to do the survey, right?
Oh,
I
I
thought
was
you were
talking
talking
about
about like for the
on
show.
on the pod. We were talking about bringing Rugs on the pod.
Oh, I mean, yeah, you can bring Rugs on the pod, and then I'll talk to him and said I disagreed with a couple of his videos back in the day.
There we
I
go.
will
I mean-
I will tell him straight to his
Ooh,
face. I
I-
disagreed with a
Spicy.
lot of
I
his
think-
videos.
I think people do that to
Spicy
him constantly.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I'm just saying I didn't do anything directly to him. I didn't do anything in the comments. I'm just like saying, yeah, I would never do that.
yeah,
But
yeah,
that
yeah.
was just me.
That would be
Um,
the 15th. With like the earliest for Rugs would be the 15th. Feral 15th is the next time it's going to be back here on Grif's channel.
Unless
So-
unless Go's internet goes out, and then I'll sneak somebody in.
Sneak me in again.
Anyway, guys,
I made a perfect time for it.
I gotta wrap this up. Thank you guys everyone for coming. Thank you everyone for watching and coming and hanging out with us. Again, check us out next week. Yeah, guys.